Phil stumbling drunkenly out of his bed, preparing in his head all the things he's wanting to be said. 90 minutes of Phil to Phil, with so much time to kill. He promised chill, but all he does instead is beg and shill. The stream's online and straight away begins to whine, but all is fine as long as Shaz's benign and doesn't step out of line. His content's immature for all to endure like fresh manure, but I feel sure he ran straight to feeling so insecure. The money he earned on yesterday was withdrawn and long gone, as Phil's spending impulse is always set to stay on. If supports are also slow and stays so low and fails to grow, you never know, the show may turn into an easy bingo. Once kicked off across the board with charge to what because his code can be ignored, just how much DSP makes us feel so bored. To help us fight our sleep and try to keep alert to watch a creep who play bingo, but Phil will bitch on why his sheep are also cheap. While DSP is chasing green, we're seeing green across the screen as Phil's routine predictability rivals are slow machine. He's snorting, burping, leaning, ban. It matters not if battery fun, his child can't see if powers make him feel less of a man. Takes a drink and starts his like before launching into a big pretending there for bills when truth is there to buy a wrestling JPEG. Talks about his shitty life of college cat and fatty wife and all his strife while forgetting that it's done well and they were rife. With drama he will react but isn't act, that is a fact as he rehearsed to be exact in how he felt he was attacked. Teacher's nearly over and a win is in sight, with what to white despite Phil to light that tips were not white. We'll say alright it is okay and now it's time for Phil to play, but first he'll say that tips will help from being off the other day. And with those words we win again, it's never if but always when the game is won. Thanks to that we made it to the very end. Hey guys, King Jad here, and welcome to DSP Bingo for today, Friday the 23rd of June 2023. First of all, I'm very sorry for the slow start to the stream. I had a bit of a delay to begin the stream. Hoping to start sooner, or hoping to start at normal time, but better late than never, I guess. I do hope you're all doing well, you're all enjoying your Friday so far. Phil's ready, of course, starting the stream. I've paused right before I start blethering, so we've got some speed up just building straight away. I've already got in 1.25 speed, ready to go. But before all that, we need to determine things like the bingo card and what we're going to have for today's, centre square and all that jazz. And of course, I have a live feed of the otter cam from Monterey Bay Aquarium as well. We started this yesterday. Whenever Phil got annoying, we just fucking went to this camera, went full screen, and whenever Phil annoyed us so much, we just went full screen and enjoyed looking at the otters. There's a couple of otters in the hole together here. There's also one on looks like some kind of swing rope thing here, right down here at the bottom here. Kind of hard to see them, you know what I mean, but there you go. So going back to that, anytime Phil irritates me too much, just to get a detox from Phil's shenanigans. So let's spin the wheel and determine today's bingo card, shall we? And it is going to land on, again, weird noise. Nah, I'm going to spin again. Yesterday was also weird noise. It's strange that 2 days in a row we have weird noise. I'm going to spin again. I want to do something different for the second day. It's strange that 2 days in a goddamn row will land on weird noise with all the options on this wheel. Nah, let's just spin again and get something different and unique, shall we? But imagine when it lands on unique. Right after I just said that. You know what I mean. There we go. So it landed on, you know what I mean. So we need a number between 1 and 208. The very first number in chat I see, which contains the number 6, will be the card I pick for today's bingo fun and games. Has to contain number 6 though. 56 was the first number in chat I saw from Steve from Latvia. So we're going to go with a 56th bingo card which has you know what I mean in it. Which of course is the 57th result. Brian's asking how, I'm telling you from my end, from my perspective, Steve from Latvia was the first person who had a number 6 in their thing. Yeah. Just because it was faster at your end doesn't mean it was faster at everyone else's end. That's all I'm saying. For me, Steve from Latvia was first. Which had a number 6 contained in it. So there you go. So the card we see on the left hand side is a card we're going to have for today's bingo fun and games. I've got the centre square different. The centre square is a test for potential inclusion in a normal rotation. The eye touch. Phil messes with his eyes quite a lot sometimes, so if it does it on this stream as well, then I think it's safe to include it in the usual rotation of other words to pick in future. So I got Phil to say alright, okay, him explaining something, him saying fuck, and comment. Now you got him burping, him having dead air, him saying members, hate to say it, and him doing food talk. The third row is Phil saying update, him using hateful slurs, him messing about with his eye, him giving a good old turbo nose where he goes, no. And Phil saying, you know what I mean. And the fourth row is Phil saying what I mean by that is unique, bump and style, tips and business. And the fifth and final row is Phil having a good old lip smack, him saying schedule, him doing a Y or a T-pose, him bumping a microphone, and finally him being toxic. So there we go. So that's the colour for today's bingo. Sorted. I'm going to save it very quickly before I forget to save it. So give me a second here. And yeah, that's the card saved. So just save that very quickly here. And there we go, good stuff. Okay, so as I said, we'll go to the board now and get our game all set up. So yeah, we'll just very quickly explain very quickly how we can get some free spaces in the card before we begin. So I'll actually lowered the... So if the guy like snorts 20 times or burps 10 times before he starts recording for gameplay, that's a free space. He gets 100 likes, that's a free space as well, and if we get 100 likes, that's a free space as well. Plus you guys get to see the special animation that Pixar Animation so very kindly made for us if we get 100 likes on the bingo. Aside from all that, yeah, just hopefully, hopefully we won't even need free spaces, it depends how annoying Phil is, I guess, but other than all that, we can just start straight away because, we'll be paused before Phil's due to begin, so the game's ready to go, so let's go.
Happy Street Fighter Friday, everyone. Today we'll be checking out Chun-Li in Street Fighter 6 for the first time since the game's release, per your requests. But also, I'll be talking all about my experiences with Final Fantasy 16, because yesterday was its release day, and I'd like to tell you what I thought. All this and more on today's Level 1 podcast. Alright, that being said, it's time for something new. Which vest is best? Which vest is e-beggar best? Okay, vest...
I'm just muting the stream, muting him. I don't want to hear his fucking dumbass audio music, so there you go. Is Phil late? No, I'm late.
Alrighty, good morning everyone. Today is Friday the 23rd of June 2023, and I'm Darkside Phil. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the full Street Fighter 6 loadout, as they say, for the podcast this morning. And today indeed is Street Fighter Friday. Something that has been successful over the past couple of weeks is doing an entire day of Street Fighter 6 on Fridays. It used to be Friday night fights where I would just play Street Fighter every single Friday night. But now, since Street Fighter 6 is out, it seems like you guys have really enjoyed my very thorough coverage of the game so far. And so doing an entire day of Street Fighter 6 today seems pretty appropriate. So there we go. 2 streams of Street Fighter 6 excitement today for all of you. And I've been mulling it over in my head and thinking about different characters who I haven't really used yet and who I might like to use. And I thought about, characters I've faced and how they've played and some knowledge that I have of each character. And so yesterday, during my premiere day of Final Fantasy 16, which we will talk about in a few minutes here, I put up a poll right here on the community tab of DSP Gaming. And the poll was, hey, I want to play a new character who I haven't really used in Street Fighter 6 yet. Who would you like to see? And the options were Ryu, Chun-Li, and Guile. And let me tell you, basically it went pretty resoundingly in a landslide for Chun-Li. It was like 50% for Chun-Li, like 25% for Ryu, and 25% for Guile, something like that. So basically people were like, yeah, we definitely want to see some Chun-Li gameplay. Now, that's cool. By the way, that wasn't my only factor in determining who I wanted to use. Let's be honest, as I've been playing Street Fighter 6, I've been saying a statement more and more the more that I've played the game. It seems like there is a class of character in Street Fighter 6 that's considered mix-up rushdown. And this class of character all play almost identically. They, from mid-range, have some pretty good normals. They throw them out. If it's blocked or hit, they dash cancel. The dash cancel gives them a mix-up option. They can continue with the combo if it hit, or hit confirm. If it didn't hit, now they have options. They can dash forward into a hit string.
Money, yeah. Money.
Thank you very much to Jesus for subscribing to the channel. Much appreciated. Well, shout out to Jesus, I guess. Hopefully we won't piss him off too much. But yeah, welcome Jesus.
Option. They can continue with the combo if it hit, for a hit confirm. If it didn't hit, now they have options. They could dash forward into a hit string. They could dash forward and do like a high-low mix-up, or they could dash forward and throw. And all of those lead to different options that allow them to continue their offense and push you to the corner. Once you're in the corner, they now have another mix-up option with wall bounces and the like. And essentially, this just seems to be a general way to play the game with certain characters. And the characters that come to mind off the top of my head are characters like Cammy, DJ, Jamie, Chun-Li, Juri, and Ken. Now there's more, but that's just the ones that just really resoundingly pop into my head, mostly because those seem to be the characters that most people are using that are playing like this. And I've even said I've noticed that the more that I've played the game, that it almost feels like it doesn't matter who you're facing. It's almost exactly the same gameplay if they're using that class of character. Because in Street Fighter 6, there absolutely are characters that don't play like that. You know, characters like Honda or Blanca, JP or Dalcine. You know, I could go on and on. These, you know, Lily. They play completely and utterly differently from that. Okay, but it definitely seems like there's a good 6-7 characters that almost play identically. And honestly, at this point in my playing of the game, you know, now we're over 3 weeks since it's released. Well, around 3 weeks since it's released. Actually, it's exactly 3 weeks since it's released today, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'm starting to get a little bored when I'm playing ranked matches and I just keep facing the same kind of character gameplay. You know, you would think with a cast of 18 characters that when you go online to play the game, you should see more variety of gameplay. And honestly, I'm just not really seeing it. You know, I'll be playing a 3-hour session, and in that session, I'll only see like 25 minutes of variety and 2.5 hours of exactly the same pattern style gameplay. And it does disappoint me because you know what that reminds me of? Street Fighter V. In Street Fighter V, literally every character played one pattern. And a lot of the characters almost played the same, and because of that, the game felt very samey, and it didn't feel like there was enough originality to it, and it got kind of boring. That's the point I've kind of arrived at in Street Fighter 6. I don't want to every fight see it be exactly the same. And it seems like whenever I'm doing ranked, that's what it is. It's the same exact characters being used 90% of the time, and more than half the cast very much being neglected. We'll see what happens as I continue to play, as I continue to rank up, you know. Maybe it's just because in Platinum, everyone's doing that, but then maybe if you hit, like, you know, Diamond rank, it'll change. I'm not sure. I am very quickly approaching Diamond rank with certain characters like Blanca, so we'll see what happens. But today, I will be using Chun-Li. Now, I already had played Chun-Li a little bit in the beta last year, so I already knew a little bit of basic information about how she played. What I really didn't know was her combo ability. So last night, I studied up and I watched 2 big videos from 2 of the highest ranked Chun-Lis in the world. And what I saw was pretty interesting. Basically,
Why does he fucking bother looking at the fucking top tier fucking players when he fucking tries to fucking stress he's not wanting to fucking be at a level? Surely he should fucking just be basically, you know, focusing on the basics and the fundamental and the core mechanics of the fucking fighter, rather than looking at the fucking top elite players and the fucking special shit they're pulling off. And it baffles me. Also, the tractor beam wanted me to say tossing capers, so there you go.
She has very high combo ability with dash canceling. Her dash cancels are quite good. And for me, much like, you know, other characters like I played with recently, Blanca and the like, it's going to be a little bit of practice and muscle memory. But once I get that dash cancel down, I think I'm going to be pretty good. Because really, there's 3 scenarios you need to know with any character. What do you do from a mid-screen dash cancel perspective? What do you do with a big punish? Like if your enemy just throws out a random Hail Mary and misses, and they're just wide open in front of you. What do you do there? And what do you do when you're in the corner and you're going to get a wall bounce? So those are like the 3 things you need to know with every character. Dash cancel strategy in combo, giant punish combo, and wall bounce combo, right? So once I get those down with Chun-Li, I should be good. And like I said, I saw some interesting things. From mid-screen, her dash cancels are very strong. And because she has a good normals game, it's like her jabs are incredibly good, and her low-medium kick is incredibly good. That if you can get either of those to connect, doesn't even have to hit, just connect, and even if they block it, you can dash cancel and go right into a mix-up hit string. And also she has an overhead, which is the flip kick, which is also incredibly good. It's fast in this game, and you can get a combo right off of it as well. Some of the things that I saw that confused me, a lot of people using Chun-Li are using air juggles because she has air juggles just like she always has had. She has a down medium kick head stomp, and you can do that up to 3 times in the air, but if you do it twice, you can then do something else as a follow-up. And I believe she either has 2 air medium punches or 2 air fierce punches. I'm not sure which it is in this game that juggle. And if you land that, you can actually do a super when you land. It could be level 1, level 2, like any super seems to work. So I need to figure that out. I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing for juggles. It seems like some people even have this really interesting mix-up in the corner. So they'll push you to the corner, and it's a mix-up, and if they hit you, they launch you, because she has a standing fierce kick that's a launcher, and they do a couple juggle hits, and then they have this weird way to do a floating, like, heavy kick down, and it's almost like a mix-up or a meaty. And people can't seem to get out of it. If they try, it hits, and now you get another free combo in the corner. So essentially, if she gets you to the corner, she's got some really good tools to keep you locked and or mixed up and basically win the round. But that's what I've got to mess with today. So when I use Chun-Li today, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be going into her guide, learning the basics. I'll be going into her combo trials, learning some combos there. I already know the dash cancels from watching the video. I need to practice the dash cancels a little bit in training mode. It's like standing jab, back fierce, and then either down light kick or down roundhouse. That's what everyone's using, depending on spacing. And if you're going to continue your combo, use down light kick and you do a second dash cancel and you continue the combo. Or if you're going to end the combo, you do low roundhouse and you combo into like spinning bird kick. So, got to see what we can do today. Will it work or not? I don't know. What we're going to do is we're going to first do the offline stuff, then we're going to go to casual matches. We're going to play casual matches for a little bit until I get my bearings, then we'll go right into ranked. Okay, similar to how I did with Marisa the first time that I picked her a couple weeks ago. And we'll see how this goes and go from there. Now, today is a full day of Street Fighter 6. It's Street Fighter Friday, all right? So it's all day long. The late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, we could either do more Chun-Li. Like, let's say I'm doing pretty good with Chun-Li and I got momentum going and I'm learning and I'm like, man, I really want to play more. Then we could do more Chun-Li tonight, and I'm okay with that. But maybe after using Chun-Li for the 3 hours today, we're a little burnt out and maybe want a little bit of variety. Well, then maybe tonight I'll go back to Lily, or maybe I'll try Zangief. Hell, maybe we'll go back to my better characters like Marisa or Blanca. I'm not sure. But we could think about it, you know, and decide for ourselves as the day progresses, okay? Ooh, excuse me. So let's see what happens today. But it's all Street Fighter all day long. For those who've been craving it and you haven't had it since, Tuesday, now you're going to get your wish, all right? So I hope that you guys are excited for Street Fighter today. We might as well go through the schedule for the rest of the week so you guys know what else to expect, and then we'll talk about Final Fantasy 16, okay? So tomorrow, it's Saturday, and you know what that means. Saturday is React Day. It's DSP versus the Internet over on DSP Reacts. So for those who haven't yet, if you are a member over on that channel, which is youtube.com/@DSP Reacts, please post up your videos for tomorrow's React show. The way it works is the channel members nominate videos for me to watch. If they're an Ultra member, meaning the highest level of supporter on that channel, we watch your video guaranteed, okay? If you're a standard member, well, I do a playlist, and it's a randomized order playlist, so everyone has a completely equal chance to have their videos watched because it's shuffled by YouTube. And so if you post up, you must post up by tonight. I'm going to say that again. You absolutely, positively must post up your videos by tonight. There's a lot of people who've been rushing in last minute to post up their videos, and sometimes I get them in, and sometimes I don't. You know, at the end of my stream tonight, my late night Street Fighter stream, I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to look at what videos have been nominated for the show tomorrow, and I'm going to make the playlist, and that's what stands for the show. So if you haven't yet, please nominate your videos, and hopefully we'll have a great show tomorrow, good variety of stuff and videos, and that's the first stream over on DSP Reacts. Then tomorrow night is the continuation of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm actually excited for this because we've been doing pretty good in Zelda. Recently, we finished the third dungeon, the Goron dungeon. Then we ended up exploring the world, and we got the map that shows all the different tiers, dragon tier locations. We actually unlocked a bunch of towers last time around, and we unlocked a bunch of the dragon tiers. And now what we're doing is we're heading to the southwest portion of the map, which is going to head us down to the Gerudo area, where there's 2 more of the story-based memories. And then we're going to do the dungeon and the plot line there and go on from there. So Zelda progress has been great. It's been chill fun. I'm excited for that tomorrow night. Then on Sunday, that's when we're going to be continuing my playthrough of Final Fantasy 16 on the main stream. And then Sunday night will be the continuation of Diablo 4, which also we've been doing tons of progress. When we played this last week, basically I made huge progress in Act 2, and it looks like we're nearing the end of Act 2, to the point where maybe we'll even start heading into Act 3, depending on how it goes, okay? Monday then will be the next session of Street Fighter 6. Monday night will be Zelda. Tuesday will be Final Fantasy, paired with Diablo, and then Wednesday's up in the air. If you guys want more Street Fighter or more Final Fantasy, we could kind of play it by ear, and then same thing on that late stream. It could either be more Zelda or more Diablo based on your feedback, so we'll see. We're kind of leaving Wednesday open, because I am here 7 days this week, 6 more streaming days, including today. It's a long streaming week for me, okay? So obviously that's all good variety stuff. Hope it sounds good to you. The next major new releases I'll be covering will be sometime in July. Right now, my streaming schedule is very set. Street Fighter and Final Fantasy alternating on the day streams. Diablo and Zelda alternating on the night streams. That's what I'm focusing on for now. I know that there's other games I haven't played. There's nothing I can do about that. We're doing our best here. We're juggling everything, right? I'm trying to appease everyone, which you can't really do. But, slow and steady and good progress in all the new games, right? So there you go. Now, the next big event coming up is DSP's Digital Summer Party, which is actually coming up on July 2nd, Sunday. Mark your calendars. It's a marathon-style event. We have so much that's going to happen during this event. Seriously. It's basically a week from this Sunday. And just listen to all the stuff we're doing. Okay, first of all, special festivities just for this event. I won't spoil what they are, but there'll be some special things. I'll be drinking during the event, having maybe a little bit of beer, a few shots here or there. If we get a big contribution, I'll probably take a shot live on stream like we did last time. You guys really seem to like that gimmick. Schedule update. We're going to go through the gaming schedule for the entire rest of the year and mark off all the big high-profile new releases and the dates that are coming out. And we're going to work together through interaction on that stream to determine what games I should actually play at release. Notably this year, the months of September, October, and November are going to have tremendous amounts of releases in a short period of time. There is no way I'm going to be able to play them all. So we have to determine what are the big, high-profile games that you guys want to see right away, and what are the ones that maybe you'd like to see long-term, but we could skip at release and play later on, like, say, come late November, December, when the game releases slow down, and there's a lot more opportunity to play catch-up, okay? So, we shall talk about this during that event. It's going to be a large segment. In addition, there's going to be some tier maker special stuff where we're going to be ranking American Fair Food, possibly Street Fighter characters or other stuff. So the tier maker stuff will be excellent. And in addition to that, I'll also be doing some Street Fighter 6 gameplay during the event, just for variety. Also, my wife will be making multiple different recipes of American Fair Food. I believe she said she's going to make 2 major things and then a dessert during the event, which we'll be doing a mukbang / DSP or feasting with Phil special, whatever you want to call it. We did this last month for the Fight and Feast, and you guys really seem to like how we broke it up with that different stuff, so we're going to do exactly the same thing this time around. So it's a huge variety marathon event on July 2nd. It's going to cover a ton of topics, a ton of different things. It's going to be very fun and a party-like atmosphere for the beginning of the summer. I hope you guys will join me live if you can, and if not, of course, it'll be available on demand, split up between here and DSP Reacts. We'll have different various segments that'll be pretty interesting, okay? Good stuff. All right, so that's coming up. Then also, in July, my next long-form special React event has been solidified. June the King has released a documentary on Machinima. I am stoked. This is exactly what I was looking for. I told you guys I was looking for someone to cover Machinima in a big capacity because...
For fuck's sake, June the King. Right, I've got a few things I want to fucking say about June the King. I'm seeing a lot of people... Well, I say a lot of people. I've seen quite a few people, a few detractors, basically fucking heap pressure on June the King, saying you better fucking do a fucking good job here of doing this documentary on Phil. Personally, I am not anticipating that happening. I don't think June the King is going to focus a lot on the detractor side of things and is going to focus mainly on what the publicly available facts, literal facts of the situation are. He's not going to do enough digging down these fucking detractor rabbit holes to actually investigate things like the back leak saga. You know what I mean? He's also, you know, it's like Phil's in his ear quite a fucking bit, you know, and Phil's trying his best to keep him sweet. You know, so Phil's absolutely fucking desperate for some sort of positive reinforcement from any sort of fucking source whatsoever, and I think June the King is going to provide him that to an extent. Yes, Phil has done a lot of dumb stuff on the internet, publicly, you know, available for all to see, but some of the biggest things and criticisms against Phil are basically from the voice by us. You know what I'm saying? And all Phil has to do is say, no, that's not true. With no evidence on his side whatsoever. It doesn't matter what evidence we have. We can provide all the fucking evidence in the fucking world. But at the end of the fucking day, if June the King can't be arsed to fucking chase it up, then he's just going to fucking just chase up in whatever sources he desires. And right now he's got an inside source with Phil. He's fucking talking to Phil directly. And Phil's like, I've got receipts, I've got emails for this. It doesn't really fucking say much or amount to fucking much. But I mean, I cannot imagine... But put it this way, I'm anticipating a lot of detractor videos to criticising June the King. When that video finally releases, I am not anticipating June the King is going to fucking do his due diligence. I'm not trying to fucking say June the King needs to fucking bury DSP. I am not trying to fucking push that whatsoever. But it would be nice if June the King was extremely thorough with his preparation. He's got an inside source right now with Phil. He has access to information potentially, which not other people has access to in making this kind of documentary. He could be asking the pertinent questions which could actually reveal us a couple of interesting things, whether it's fucking for or against Phil in a negative fucking light. But that's the same kind of thing though. June the King could have that same sort of window of opportunity to try and explore a couple of certain particular detractors to gain information. You know, people like Piece would be a great fucking source of information since he has been chronicling all this information for Phil's finances and all the evidence it points out to being Phil, you know. But I cannot imagine June the King is going to be that thorough. That's just my take on that.
I was a part of their partner network for over 6 years. I was one of the holdout YouTubers who stayed with them the longest through their highs and lows. And I have so much to talk about. Let me give you some perspective here. Just this morning, I opened up my email, and I just, on a whim, I typed Machinima. Hundreds of emails popped up from over the years, my dealings with Machinima, and the stuff that I used to be involved in, the way that they used to react to stuff. Basically all the supplemental information from being a Machinima partner for as long as I was. And it's all at my fingertips because I saved it all. So when we're watching this documentary, not only am I going to be able to react from personal perspective, but I might have receipts on shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be pretty interesting to come.
Hold on, you have all these receipts and you didn't offer them to June the King for his documentary. That's a bit shitty, Phil. If you knew June the King was making a fucking Machinima documentary, and you didn't bother your arse to fucking give him any fucking potential receipts to fucking back up things for his video, that seems a bit of a shite thing to do to him. I mean, you've been so nice to him, but you could have fucking given him more information to fucking flesh out more his video on Machinima. You were a fucking big advocate for the fucking video. You were fucking saying no one else has done a fucking video on Machinima. This would be great, June. And yet, you had these receipts available all this fucking time, and you didn't bother your arse to fucking offer them to June.
He's out of business. There is no privacy concerns because the company can't say anything. They don't exist. You know what I'm saying? So this will be very interesting. I'm actually going to bring out Machinima merch and all kinds of shit for this very special event, the big Machinima React event. That'll be coming up in July. When exactly? I don't know yet. We'll talk about it. I mean, we're having a special event the first weekend of July, so it stands to reason we should probably wait a couple of weeks before I do another one. Maybe around mid-July, we'll do that. I mean, this is a get roasted Machinima. Forget roasting. How about the fucking burial of Machinima, right? Like, seriously, there were some time, it was so ridiculous, the way they went about certain things, and you're gonna see one of the things they say is this frat boy culture. I mean, yeah, it was like run by a bunch of people who didn't know what they were doing, and just, oh, look, I have money on my lap, what do I do with this? Let's burn through it right away. What?
Yeah, Phil, the thing is that we have receipts. We have our own receipts from, no, the source is you. You are a source, and thanks to Brian, remember Brian yesterday gave us this video of Phil praising Machinima.
It's because Machinima has my back. I'd be an idiot to not be with Machinima anymore, okay? And, in fact, because of a direct result of all this negativity, right? I had copyright strikes taking money out of my pocket, a new contract that means I was going to get paid less. I had a lot of uncertainty, and I said, I think I want to develop a new plan for the year of 2016, and I worked with Machinima, and they worked with me to allow this plan to launch properly the way that I wanted it to. So now let's get to that. So because of all this, I knew, decreasing views on my raw gameplay and streams, less money being made because the copyright strikes took me out of YouTube search, and a contract that was going to pay me less regardless, no matter how well I did, I was going to be making less money. I knew something had to change in 2016 if I was going to remain afloat. It's just, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It had to happen, or else I wasn't going to be able to do this full-time anymore, period. It was going to be the end of me doing YouTube. Now, I might have been able to do it part-time, but good luck trying to juggle YouTube now with a part-time job, especially with the fact the job market in the United States still isn't good, no matter what you hear and what everyone's, oh, it's great. Yeah, if I want to go work and flip burgers for $7 an hour, I can get a job. But good luck getting any kind of a job that's going to pay me anywhere equivalent to what I've been making on YouTube, or even the job that I had before YouTube.
Basically, he's fucking full of praise for Machinima at this fucking point. This video was like 6 years ago. 23rd of August 2016. So Phil was full of praise for Machinima back in 2016. And yet, these fucking days, he's fucking throwing him under the bus. He's driving the goddamn bus and backing up over him, riding over him again. He cannot wait to fucking just grab that goddamn shovel and bury him himself after running him over.
Anyway, well, it's going to be a fun event, and that's going to be coming up in July. We'll talk more about it as we get to July, and we'll schedule it, and then we'll start figuring out the exact specifics of what I'm going to do during that event. But obviously, there's going to be a live reaction to the June the King documentary, and there'll be many other things happening then as well, okay? There you go. So that's going to be exciting in July. That's a lot of stuff coming up, right? Now, the other big event that I know for a fact I'll be doing, late August, early September, ladies and gentlemen, it is my 15-year anniversary as a content creator. As of this fall, okay? I will actually be, you can believe it, 15 years as a YouTuber and daily content creator. Every day pumping out new gameplay for you guys, sharing my life experiences with you. Yeah, it's been that dang long. And so I'm going to have a big celebration, end of August, early September. It's going to be multifaceted. There's going to be a retrospective event where we go down memory lane, and you guys will nominate moments for me to react to from my 15-year history as a content creator. There's going to be, obviously, probably some fun tier maker stuff. We already have a special tier maker scheduled where I'm going to rank all of the games that I said were Game of the Year or second place over the years, and we're going to rank them against each other to see if they stood the test of time.
Basically, in 15 years, this is what we fucking got from Phil Burnell.
For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be talking and saying absolutely nothing.
You know, there's going to be some special, really special stuff in regards to, like, retro playthroughs. Some of the earlier playthroughs I ever did, I'll probably go back and maybe play those games. Like, for example, Saints Row 2. I never even did a full playthrough of it. Maybe I'll go back and do a playthrough of it, right? Stuff like that. Very nostalgic stuff to celebrate my 15 years of, of content creation. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are too. That's some of the stuff you can plan on in the next few months heading through the summer into the fall. Very busy gaming season. All right? So I hope that all sounds good to you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the content. As you know, I'm an independent content creator. I have no partnerships, no sponsorships, no product placements, absolutely none of that. It's all about you guys watching and supporting the content every single day here on the streams and on demand. Thank you to those who have. Yesterday was a big day with Final Fantasy 16. Thanks to those who were here for the streams and supported them. Thanks to those who watched the videos, left likes, left comments on the videos, and are continuing to do so. That is critical and key to the success of this channel.
And that's our first bingo in the game because Phil said comment.
So thank you for that. And thank you for continuing. to support my efforts to be a content creator who basically does, you know, what he wants and doesn't have to worry about, oh my God, I said the wrong thing and I didn't kiss butt, so I lose a sponsorship, or I'm dropped from a partnership here today. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That's really awesome, and it's thanks to you. So thank you to anyone who supports the channel in any way, whether it be liking this stream or liking this video on demand, leaving...
I need to unpack that for a second. Hold on. He's thanking his audience for not having to fucking worry about trying. To me, that's how it's coming across. He is thanking his audience for fucking enabling him to not put effort into trying.
Said the wrong thing and I didn't kiss butt, so I lose a sponsorship, or I'm dropped from a partnership here today. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That's really awesome, and it's thanks to you.
The lack of ambition is incredible for somebody who he doesn't want to fucking aim high. He wants to fucking settle for those whales that will continue to fucking overly inflate what it should be. And it's crazy. Like, you know, if he wants to fucking bankrupt these fucking whales, and fair enough, it's fucking Phil's and the money are easily fucking parted. If these fucking dumbass whales of Phil want to fucking throw money at them, then we're just going to fucking make fun of him. Phil is going to fucking get that money, immediately spend that money on dumb fucking shit, then tomorrow the whole cycle will fucking repeat once again.
So thank you to anyone who supports the channel in any way, whether it be liking this stream or liking this video on demand, leaving comments on it, or interacting with me on the stream, maybe perhaps going above and beyond, dropping a super chat or a super sticker, right? Or a membership or a gifted membership. And I say that because we usually have really good attendance for Street Fighter. These would be great streams if you were looking to support the channel in general and you wanted to help out your fellow viewer. Gifted memberships are a great way to do that. By dropping gifted memberships, not only are you helping out me and my business, but you're helping out your fellow viewer to have all these cool benefits on the streams as well. So please consider that. And we have lost a significant amount of gifted memberships in the last week, so it'd be great to get some of those back. You know, tips are awesome. Thank you so much. Tips have been great recently, so thank you for that as well. Those are straight through PayPal if you prefer. And just thanks in general. Remember, if you contribute during this pre-stream / podcast, I will shout it out at the end of the show. It's basically the last segment of the show is when I do shout outs for all of your contributions, okay? Sound good? All right, excellent. Cool. Ladies and gents.
That's a good point there. Anthony's saying you pissed all over the businesses that supported you. When he was fucking, you know, he was basically burying Machinima, mocking Machinima. Yeah, Phil was being quite toxic towards Machinima earlier on, so I'm going to take toxic as well. See, I was considering taking that and I wasn't sure whether it was toxic enough, but looking back on it, it was quite aggressively toxic towards him. Prophet says, dropped by sponsors in the past, fired from Machinima and Curse, kicked from AdSense, banned from Blip TV, banned from the Twitch Partner Program, monetization removed from Streamlabs and Stream Elements. Yeah, and think about things as well. Teespring kicked him to the curb and everything else as well. Yeah, the fact of the matter is, Phil is not a positive person to promote anything. He just comes across so negatively. You cannot give Phil something and have it become. He's naturally a negative person. I'm not just saying that to be fucking mean. He is, like, instinctively. He's always been negative. He's somebody who just has negative vibes about every time he fucking talks and, you know, discusses what he feels. It's rarely in a positive fucking light, at least about other things. When it's about himself, everything's fucking amazingly positive. Anything else on the planet which is not him, there's usually a negative connotation in how he's fucking describing it.
I think we should talk about Final Fantasy 16. All right. So yesterday.
Okay. So we're going to have a counter, right? If Phil mentions Game of Thrones 3 times, if he mentions Game of Thrones 3 times, that's a free space. I watched Hate Army's video earlier on. Phil mentioned Game of Thrones like 8 times in a single day playing Final Fantasy. So for this podcast here, if he mentions it 3 times in this podcast, I'm going to say that's a free space. A free, random free space out of fucking nowhere. So let's see how many times Phil mentions Game of Thrones.
I played Final Fantasy 16 all day long. My air conditioner's on, I'm just making sure that it's set here. And 5+ hours of gameplay. It was about 5.5 hours of gameplay when I actually added it up, alright? And a lot of people want my opinion. I already gave it. I did a YouTube short about this last night. I don't know if you checked it out. It was about a 60-second short. But I'd like to definitely elaborate more on that. Okay? So The first 2 hours of Final Fantasy 16 are intriguing because it really feels like you're watching a television show. There's almost no gameplay to be had whatsoever. The little gameplay there is just basic tutorials, and really never do you feel like you have control of any character. It's just you're along for a ride as you get backstory of this family, this imperial family, the Ducky or Dookie or however the hell they pronounce it.
Jesus Christ, the Duchy, I think it's like Duchy. Oh my god. Phil called it the Ducky. D-U-C-H-Y. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced like the Duchy or something. Phil literally pronounces it Dookie. But I believe it's pronounced Duchy. Is it Duchy? Am I butchering that? I don't want to say Duchy because it feels like I'm insulting somebody, but I think it's Duchy. That's how I definitely don't fucking say it as Dookie like Phil does. Jesus Christ, man. Apparently I missed an eye touch. Okay, fair enough. I will take off eye touch. But yeah, Phil pronounces it Dookie. I'll rewind it again just so you guys can see, but he pronounces it Dookie, sorry.
The little gameplay there is just basic tutorials, and really never do you feel like you have control of any character. It's just you're along for a ride as you get backstory of this family, this imperial family, the Ducky or Dookie or however the hell they pronounce it, and how they're part of this empire, and I guess the empire betrays them and doesn't trust them, and it really does a lot of world building with the lore of certain people in this world are called dominants, and they're the people who control these giant mystical creatures. In previous Final Fantasy games, these were actually the summons or the eidolons, and this one they're called icons. So, you know, summon monsters like Phoenix or Ifrit or Shiva or Titan. Well, there's people who actually have these creatures tied to them, and it seems like these are integral to the way that the world is controlled in the world of Final Fantasy 16, because if you control that, basically it's, you know, you have power over people. And so right off the bat, at the beginning of the game, there's betrayal, and there's people killing each other, and there's sexual relationships that are focused on and all of this. And the one thing that I could say, you know, watching this intro, you're like, dude, they love Game of Thrones.
There's 2 more to go. If he says Game of Thrones 2 more times, we get a free space.
They absolutely positively watched the entire show, and they love Game of Thrones, and
1 more.
they tried to turn Final Fantasy into Game of Thrones.
3, okay, we've got a free space. We have 1 free space because Phil mentioned Game of Thrones 3 times. Oh my fucking god, I should have done a higher number. Holy fuck, it was like 1 sentence. That was all 1 sentence. I mean, on podcast, I'm going to rewind that. He mentioned Game of Thrones 3 times in 1 sentence. Then I mean, oh my god, fine. I'm a man of my word, we have a free space because he mentioned Game of Thrones 3 times. Let's rewind it just to hear it again.
Phoenix or Ifrit or Shiva, the way that the world is controlled in the world of Final Fantasy 16, because if you control that, basically it's, you know, you have power over people. And so right off the bat, at the beginning of the game, there's betrayal, and there's people killing each other, and there's sexual relationships that are focused on and all of this. And the one thing that I could say, you know, watching this intro, you're like, dude, they love Game of Thrones. They absolutely positively watched the entire show, and they love Game of Thrones, and they tried to turn Final Fantasy into Game of Thrones, okay? Now, if you like Game of Thrones, then you probably get it. If you were looking for, like, typical Final Fantasy fare, this game is a far departure from it, in my opinion. Now, that's okay. You don't want every Final Fantasy to feel the same. But at the same time, you know, I hate to say it, Game of Thrones isn't nearly as prominent as it used to be. You know, if this game came out 10 years ago, maybe I would have been like, oh my god, it's groundbreaking or whatever. But Game of Thrones has kind of like been there, done that, right? And, you know, people moved on from it, quite frankly. And now this game comes out trying to be like that. And it's kind of a little confusing. It's kind of like they felt like it took too long for the game to come out or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if the Game of Thrones TV show had a better finale, but everyone knows that everyone hated Season 8's end, right? So, after the initial 2 hours of cutscenes and backstory, you finally get to play the game a bit. And here's what I will say. The gameplay elements so far are interesting and getting better the more I play. So the
I'm bored. I'm going 1.5. We're going up to 1.5 speed because Phil bores me. Actually, before we even get back, let's see how our pals are doing now. Let's see how our autos are doing. We've got a couple chilling in the hole here. There's a couple of them chilling over here in the hole. We still have 1 in the swing. Actually, didn't he? Hold on, let's go live. I went to the live stream. Here's one. There's a couple. There's 1 there just chilling. There's 1 swimming a bit. There's 1 still in the hole right there.
Yeah, yeah. Money, money. Oh, money, money. Yeah, yeah. Money, money.
Got this wee guy here still in the swing. Thank you very much to Cursed Fetus for subscribing to the channel. Much appreciated. So there we go. But yeah, let's just a nice wee bit of chill. Just Phil's winding me up too much there. He was annoying me too much. So this is why we have the Otter live stream on standby. Live see Ottercam from Monterey Bay Aquarium. It's just nice to just detox from this. And I was just when it was, he's gonna climb up. He's gonna climb up. Look at him go. He's thinking about it, it's like, do I want to? Do I really fucking want to go up there? I don't know if I want to. Yeah, fuck this. Back in the water. But I really want that thing. Fuck it. I'm away. There we go. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, back to Phil.
Combat engine is kind of simplified. You've got basic combos, you've got magic spells, you got charged combos and charged spells. You got the ability to like dash into an enemy to do a combo starter, or dash to an enemy who's in midair and do an air juggle. You can do air combos as well. As you unlock new abilities, this opens up new options. For example, you can do a ground pound attack from the air as like an air combo finisher, or to bring an enemy from the air to the ground and continue a combo. You got special abilities tied to the icon who you control, and in this case it's the Phoenix. So you've got the ability to do like a flaming uppercut, or a big ability where you do like a shockwave of fire that knocks back enemies, and a spinning move that's like a big spin attack that catches a bunch of enemies in with flame attack. I would say actually there's a stagger meter that reminds me of the stagger meter in Final Fantasy 13. If you remember, in Final Fantasy 13 you couldn't really deal much damage to enemies until you got their stagger meter emptied, and then when they were staggered, now you could deal like crazy damage, and that was always the goal of every fight. It almost feels the same, except it's action-based combat rather than turn-based this time around. So you're trying to actively dodge attacks with perfect timing, and or combo enough to lower the enemy stagger meter, and then they get staggered. Now it's like unload on this guy with maximum damage. And for now, I'm playing 5 hours in. I do have one teammate, I won't spoil, but I have one teammate who you can actually create combos with, so you can hit a bunch, and they come in and hit, and you can extend your combo, follow up. It's kind of nice, but right now you only control one character. And I'm wondering, is that it for the entirety of the game? Is that it? Or will there be any variety later in the game where at some point you don't only control one character? I don't know, right? Like right now you control your one character and one teammate, and that seems to be it. But I don't know if it's ever going to be more varied than that. We're only 5 hours in. I'll tell you this, I like the combat engine, and it seems to be getting even better the more you play. For example, last night, the last thing I did was a 2v1 boss fight, and at first I'm fighting this boss and I'm like, man, this is tough, this is going to be chaotic, and I think this is unfair. All right, why? Because when you're fighting two enemies at once, you can't really see what they're doing, especially because it's two bosses. As if you don't know their attack patterns and their attack animations, you can't perfect dodge everything on the first try. So I'm like, dude, I'm definitely going to end up dying this first time, and I'm going to try again, and hopefully I'll know some of their animations, I'll be able to dodge them. So I'm playing, I'm using a lot of, healing and everything, and I've almost got no healing left. And finally, I actually kill one of them. And I'm like, oh, so now it's down to 1v1. When it became a 1v1 fight, it now became fair. Because now it's me against one boss. I can dodge the magic attacks. It does melee attacks. I can easily perfect dodge those. And I literally beat the boss with no healing. And I was like, dude, it's tough, by the way. But I got it done. I was like, wow. So the game kind of is a combination of gameplay of action-based games you've played before with some strategy involved from RPG style. It's kind of an interesting combat concept. And honestly, out of everything so far, I actually think the combat's my favorite part of the game. Music, pretty good as well. Although I haven't heard any tunes or anything that are like really catchy in my head that I'm remembering. But at the same time, the music is pretty good. Graphics. Here is something where I'm going to have some contention, all right? The graphics look great, but the frame rate's not consistent. Now, this is a PS5 exclusive, all right? They spent all their time developing this game to run on PS5. And you're telling me, with all that time developing it just for that console, you can't get your game to run at smooth 60 frames? That's a problem. I'm sorry, that's a problem. The game should be smooth 60, and it's not. It definitely dips a lot, especially in combat. And yeah, sometimes when the frame rate is getting a little choppy, it can be pretty tricky to be able to do counters and things, because it is frustrating to see it dip and spike and then dip again. I am upset about that. I feel like this game, being a full $70, PS5 exclusive right now, it's a timed exclusive, it should be running 60, and it's not, and that's disappointing. So that is one major gripe I have with the game, is the graphics. They should improve them over time. I would hope they do, but man, that resolution, as well as the frame rate, fluctuates, and it's very frustrating. The other thing that really annoys me, okay, I'm all for story, but it really feels like this game is very heavy-handed with the story. I mean, when you're having entire, 10, 15, 20-minute spans of cutscenes with a walk for 10 feet and then another cutscene, right? It's ridiculous. Like, I understand they have a story they want to get out here, but the pacing has to be improved, I hope, over the course of the game. There's just way too much story early on, okay? I do feel like the story is very annoying in that regard. I want story, but I don't want to just sit here and watch a movie. And I feel like yesterday, out of the 5 hours I played, I watched a 3-hour movie, and then I had 2 hours of gameplay. I should have more gameplay than movie, you understand? And I don't feel like that, but I am hoping that it will get better in time. That maybe that was just because of the early setup and everything they had that much, and now there'll be more of a balance moving forward, I hope. So I guess we'll see. Now the other thing, the game is incredibly linear. There is absolutely nothing optional yet. Everything I've done is you're just going here and you're doing it, right? I mean, yeah, you can spend a little bit of extra time looking around an extra corner or path for an extra item and fight a couple extra normal enemies, but there's been nothing significant with open world or exploration or anything in the first 5 hours. Now, could it be this is one of those Final Fantasy games where you have to spend 20 plus hours before you get to any kind of element of choice? It could be. Like, take a look at Final Fantasy 13. That was exactly the same, where you were stuck in a linear story for an extended period of time, but then at one point, finally later in the game gives you the element of choice. You can pick your party members, you're in an open world, and as you start to explore it, now the game opens up and gets great. Perhaps that's what we're in for here, right? Maybe there will be eventually that element, but we haven't gotten to it yet. I don't know. It's funny because I'm seeing completely differing opinions and or statements online about this fact. Some people are like, no, this game is 100% linear, and it's refreshing because Final Fantasy hasn't been linear like this in a million years, so now you get, a guided experience, but it's fun because the story is great and the gameplay is good. To which I can agree if that's the case, but then I see people are like, no, there's open world stuff.
Hold on, Prophet's trying to call, apparently. I mean, if Prophet needs to fucking call, I'm ready. I'm prepared for him to call. I've had no, here it is, yeah, hold on, okay. Hi.
Hey, I'm just gonna
Get
want to just
get off your chest.
frame rate.
Get it off your chest,
Yeah.
pal.
Want to apologize because I don't have my 30 frames per second video up yet, but the game runs at 1440p, 30 frames per second, upscaled using FSR2 on the PlayStation 5. So it's not 4K. It's not native 4K.
Right?
It's 1440. When you change it to performance mode, it drops down to 720p and is then upscaled to 4K, again, using FSR2. But the problem is, the consoles just are not fast enough to run it. And Phil doesn't understand that. He thinks these consoles are like god tier quad 4090 SLIs with 1,000,000 gigs of RAM and a 100 core processor that can run anything, and it's just not true.
It's just basically the problem is also the game probably has a whole lot of content in it as well. So you're trying to fit all this kind of the gameplay aspects of it, which will take up a whole bunch of data, and the size of the game as well, the size of the map, and the length of the game as well, how much gameplay is involved in the game, as well as the graphics, as well as so many different criteria to try and also everything will be looking better and playing better and feeling better compared to a PS4 game for the most part. Going from previous console generation, that's what I'm saying. Everything gets upgraded, so it's not just a case of just flipping a switch and saying, okay, we've got a PS5, so we can now fucking do 60 frames per second easy. Because everything, everything gets upgraded. I mean, it's just a case of we can do more. It's not just a case of I know Phil is a strange mentality Phil has, but it really is.
Phil doesn't understand that when he sets his console, and we know this because we've seen him do it. He set the console to 1080p. That doesn't force 1080p gaming. That is for the control panel, like your GUI and everything for your PlayStation 5 and everything. When it actually goes into the game only has two modes. You have performance mode, you have gaming mode, or your quality mode. And those modes are rendered whatever the game tells it. Just because Phil has his console set to 1080p, that doesn't affect how the game is rendered. And with the past Final Fantasies, they will render stuff that's not even in the scene, which in turn causes performance issues. So there's he has no clue. And then I know last night he was complaining about how the screen was too dark. Well, that's because he disabled full color.
Yeah, I was thinking I did see some sort of complaints about the darkness, but that is something he can literally control by going to the options menu and adjusting it himself.
Yeah, he can adjust gamma, re-enable full color, because full color is not going to affect performance. And there's no reason to disable a full color option on a full color TV. That's just an idiot randomly checking off options because he doesn't know what they are.
Warren in chat saying that consoles are just basically low-end PCs. To an extent, he's got a point.
They are. They're a lower end PC. When the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox came out, it's remember they're all AMD SoCs, so it's a combination Ryzen 1, Ryzen 2 processor, in between. It's still 8 cores, 16 threads, and then the GPU is an RDNA 2 variant, but it's not comparable to the 6000 series from AMD. The 6000 series is still fast.
Yeah.
So the issue is they rely heavily on FSR. There are no AAA titles on both the Xbox and the PlayStation that natively run at 4K. They all use FSR or FSR2 to try and upscale to 4K.
I mean, I would love. Imagine if Phil Burnell was put in charge of a video game. He has a team in front of him, and his number one request to him: make it 60 frames per second, whatever it costs. No matter
the game
what.
would look. You would be back in the 90s graphics, trying to do 4K native 60 frames per second.
Jesus Christ! It really fucking.
That's what should be back at, because they just look at him and be like, yeah, it's not possible on the console.
And then Phil, so he has no clue. He has no concept of what he's fucking talking about as per usual, basically.
Yeah.
It's the same daily rant we get from him on a fucking regular fucking basis, but he has no real fucking clue what he's talking about. So that video you're planning to make.
I'm listening to it and I'm just
yeah, exactly.
I do have plans to do a 30 FPS, and I'm going to go over all the games that Phil has mentioned. He mentions Red Dead Redemption 2. He's like, oh, that's because 4K 60. No, it doesn't. Again, that's 1440p upscaled to 4K 60. And in performance mode, it relies on VRR to hit 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not like for you or I, where we just go into our options and go, oh, okay, I'm going to set 1440p natively, right? I'm going to set up my anti-aliasing, I'm going to enable ray tracing. I'm going to go through that on a PC. You don't get that option on a console.
Yeah,
quality mode, you have your ray tracing, you have everything there.
And even those
performance mode.
Those options are kind of relatively recent, aren't they? When you think about it. I
mean, ray tracing
it's just a console.
Yeah, like these consoles are the first consoles to support native 4K. The Xbox supports 8K for video playback. The PlayStation 5 does the same thing. They both incorporate VRR, they both incorporate ray tracing, but AMD's ray tracing is shit, and on the consoles, they have to choose. They can't do everything. They can't do reflection ray tracing, they can't do lighting ray tracing, they can't do shadow ray tracing. They have to choose which one they want to do.
Oh, and I'm just going to
do all three.
I'm just looking at Phil's chat right now, and apparently he's fucking got losing his damn mind about something, so that's something to look forward to. 24 minutes time from now, Phil's going to lose his mind. Apparently, I think it was a tip that triggered him or something, so there's something to look forward to, some salt from Phil. But so you got a plan.
Okay, I'll let you go.
You know what? So you got a video plan very soon. You're planning on releasing it very soon.
I've got a whole bunch. I just got to find time. Like, I'm going to have to work late now tonight.
Yeah.
So stream might be cancelled. I don't know yet.
Looking forward to it anyway when it comes to pal. Cheers for calling in.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye. It's always good to hear from Prophet and have him rant and rave. These kind of issues are always close. I mean, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the tech. Anything technical that Phil talks about, it all seems to trigger Prophet. It's okay, he needs to rant, so he knows to call in. I'll just let him get off his chest. It's better for him to vent than let it build up, you know.
I'm like, wait a minute. How can one group say no, it's completely linear, and another group says there's open world? Like, it's not possible. It's one or the other. How can people be disagreeing on this fact? You know. So I'm interested to see what happens as we get further into the game. So far, in my first 5 hours, I've enjoyed my experience, but there were times when the cutscenes were dragging on, I was getting bored, and I do feel a little bit like, because of the linearity of it, it doesn't really feel like it's my game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're playing a game that has the element of choice or I choose to do some of this, so I'll do it and get some extra stuff, versus, this is just the same guided experience everyone's having. I feel like the only difference right now has been some of the combat. Like, some people probably died in that 2v1 boss fight, because it was kind of challenging, you know? To beat that on the first try actually feels pretty challenging. But outside of that, I think everyone else is probably having exactly the same gameplay experience as me. It doesn't make it feel individualized, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. So far, I am enjoying it. I did not dislike it. I'm happy I didn't spoil myself on this game, because I didn't expect it to be like this, and it is kind of refreshing to play something very different than a standard Final Fantasy experience. But at the very same time, there are some questions I have, you know? Moving forward, will it retain my interest, or is it going to be so cutscene heavy, right? And I will say this one final thing. Now, this is my pet peeve. You guys can completely disagree on this point, and that is perfectly fine, but I want to get this off my chest, all right? When they announced that this would be the first mature-rated Final Fantasy game, a lot of people say, well, I don't understand why. Well, now we know why. Right in the first few hours, there's excessive gore and or brutal murders right in front of you, and there's sexual content, sexual scenes, right? We haven't had stuff like that in Final Fantasy before. So, again, I get it. They're going for the Game of Thrones idea. But you have to understand that in a game like a fantasy game, less can be more. So I'll give you a perfect example. There's a female character who's basically supposed to be a manipulator. She sleeps with guys, she gets them to do what she wants, and because of that, a lot of, like, it's actually the plot is like one of the characters in your party interacts with her and says, you didn't used to be like that, you used to be a good person, I trained you to use your powers, but now you're using everything in your ability for bad business, you're manipulating everyone around you. What happened to you? What changed you to be such a horrible person? It's part of the plot. I get it. But here's the difference. I could have just been told that she's like that. I didn't have to see it. There's literally like a 3+ minute cutscene of her in bed with the king, and literally nothing happens during the cutscene. Nothing. It doesn't add anything. It's like they wanted to have the Game of Thrones sex scene in the game, so they had to have it. You understand?
It wasn't even a fucking sex scene. It was basically some fucking further plot development where the king is fucking explaining his actions and plans to fucking try and, you know, retain control and try and retain order. Jesus fucking Christ, Phil. All Phil saw was two naked people in a fucking bed, and he immediately thinks, oh god, it's a sex scene. No, they're talking.
Stand like, here it is. But what is this adding to the game? Literally nothing. You could have just said it was happening, or it could have been alluded to, or there could have been a side conversation about it instead of actually having the whole scene. It's almost like they're trying to cater to an audience that wants the adult content, right? Ooh, I want to see the side boob in the scene. I want to see, instead of just saying, okay, the Duke was injured or murdered, they have to show
the Duke. Phil, no, he's not a Duke.
Brutal blood exploding and guts shooting out. And it's like, you know, listen, there's an audience for that. There is. But I don't know if it's the Final Fantasy audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like they're definitely trying to cater to people who like the over-the-top excess of adult content. Now, the thing that's funny about it is there's no nudity in this game. There's not. So the entire scene in the bedroom is fucking stupid, because all it shows is, oh, an arm is blocking the guy's balls and crotch, and oh, look, the camera angle just happens to only shoot from here up, and you can't see anything below. What the hell is the point? Seriously, it's like it's bad in that regard. It really is. It's stupid. Like, why is this in the game? Like, it's like they're trying too hard to be edgy. You know what I'm saying? Now that's my pet peeve. You can disagree, and that's fine. Maybe it doesn't bother you at all.
It's not even a fucking talking point in my opinion, Phil. You're just so goddamn fucking uncomfortable at the fucking thought of seeing some fucking romance in a fucking video game because you have no goddamn romance in your life whatsoever.
I mean, I've played all the Final Fantasies, and at this point, it's like, dude, why is this in the game? It just doesn't need it. It doesn't add anything to have this shit in it. Besides, we're trying to be different and edgy, guys. Come on, look, we really did it this time. We went all the way. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. When there's a bedpost blocking the guy's testicles so I don't see them, you didn't go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty stupid. Anyway, so far, 5 hours in, I am enjoying Final Fantasy 16. I'm looking forward to more. The playthrough will continue this coming Sunday. And like I said, it's going to be alternated back and forth between Final Fantasy and Street Fighter 6. So now it's not just Street Fighter 6 every day. So for those who've been burnt out and like, oh my god, you're playing way too much Street Fighter 6, your prayers have been answered. We have another game that will be alternated with that every other day. And hopefully you'll enjoy. Hopefully this will satiate the people who've been complaining for 3 weeks that I'm playing too many fighting games. But I'm continuing to play fighting games a lot. All right, I'm still planning on doing, Street Fighter Fridays, Street Fighter all day long every Friday, and I'm still planning on doing major streams of Street Fighter every other day, so that you'll have enough fighting gameplay. I'll still be every once in a while trying to do character and the like. All right, so let's see how it goes. And I'm excited for more to see where they go with this game. Okay. My initial gameplay is already live, 5 hours. Please give it a look. If you watch it, thank you. Please remember, like those videos and leave comments. I'm telling you, engagement is very important. And I have noticed, sadly, a drop in engagement in this channel over the last few months. With all these new releases, engagement is key. Just giving a like and leaving a comment on a video actually puts it in the algorithm and lets more people find the content. So if you could do that favor for me, if you're watching my stuff, please do. It helps a ton, okay? All right. You know what's funny? You notice I never ask anyone to subscribe. I don't think I ever do I? I don't think I ever have.
Because you get no fucking money for it. Why would you fucking waste time on something you actually don't get any fucking money for? You ask for tips because you get money for that. You ask for fucking members because you get money for that. You ask for fucking super chats because you get fucking money for that. You ask for gifted memberships because you get fucking money for that. You ask for comments because it fucking helps people fucking see a fucking shitty fucking videos. Maybe we can really leave super comments and super chats. No, subscribing no gives you fucking nothing financially. So why would you fucking waste your breath on that kind of thing?
Right? I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer on YouTube. If you like the content, why wouldn't you subscribe to the channel? So I kind of like have just taken it for granted. I never mentioned that. I mean, you have to subscribe to talk in the chat. It's a sub-only mode. And if you subscribe, you'll get notified when the new videos come out. You'll get notified when I do community posts of polls and things. Like, if you were a subscriber, you would have known yesterday that you could vote on that and poll and determine, who I use today in Street Fighter 6. You know what I mean? So I basically never talk about it. Please consider subscribing if you're not. I don't know why you wouldn't. With all the content I put out, you would think being subscribed and being in the know would be beneficial, right? Okay. All right, so, yeah, there you go. Swaggin says, if you could please slam dunk the subscribe button, smash the like button, share the fuck out of your channel with your friends and family. Yes. Oh my god. All right. So outside of everything else that I just talked about, Street Fighter 6 as well as Final Fantasy 16, there is something that I have to talk about in regards to previous stuff that happened this week in Street Fighter 6, which we haven't gotten around to yet, so I'd actually like to discuss it this morning. If you remember...
Oh god, here we go. Brace yourselves for boring Street Fighter stats.
Back on Tuesday, we had what I called the Blanca Festival. Do you guys remember Blanca Festival? So here's what happened during the Blanca Festival. I played 3 hours of just Blanca, okay? And during that 3 hours of just Blanca, I played something like 70-some matches, all right? It was a crazy amount of Blanca gameplay. And my goal was to get much better with Blanca, all right? And I actually do feel like I did. If you take a look at that gameplay, I was doing pretty awesome combos. I was doing perfect parries into juggles into level 3 supers. I was doing mix-ups. I was doing dash cancels, right? I was doing a lot that I had not done before with Blanca after having studied some high-level Blanca gameplay on YouTube. So it went well, but again, at the same time, I feel like at some point you do hit a wall, and I feel like my problem right now is execution. Like, there were big opportunities where I had matches entirely won with Blanca, and then I would drop the combo, drop the move, and it would drive me absolutely bonkers. It would, like, it's called being tilted. I would get tilted when I know the match is over, I know what to do to win, and I go for it, and then something doesn't happen the way that I feel like I input it, and I lose the match because of it. And that's the thing in Street Fighter 6. One wrong move, someone will hit you with one kick, dash cancel, 60% punish. And it's like, it gets to the point where it starts to drive you nuts. Like, dude, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Anyway, so let me give you some statistics, because I know we love these statistics we've been studying, right? So during the 3 hours of the Blanca Festival that I did back on Tuesday, I played 73 matches. I had 40...
Wait, I went to full screen because I was expecting the fucking graphic to show again. I thought Phil was going to fucking share a graphic of all his fucking wins and losses with all his fucking different fighters. But also he's just going to fucking relay the fucking information from his phone like Game Cucker has provided for him.
2 wins and 31 losses for a 58% win-loss ratio, and I went from Platinum 3-star to a Platinum 4-star ranking. So I did propel myself into my highest ranking yet, and if I keep playing with...
Well, hold on, that's a lie pose if I ever saw one.
3-star to a Platinum 4-star ranking. So I did propel myself into...
That's a modified Y pose, I'd say. For sure, I'm counting that. That's not a bingo. There we go.
My highest ranking yet, and if I keep playing with Blanca, it's very likely I'm going to hit diamond rank, okay? So I won more than I lost by a decent margin, not great, but a decent margin. Overall now with Blanca, I have 145 wins and 89 losses for a win-loss ratio percent of 62%. That's still pretty good. I think the only character I'm better with right now currently is Marisa, who's at 64%. And overall, all right, overall, I currently have 626 wins and 4,000, holy shit, let's try that again. 626 wins, 487 losses for a 56% win rate in Street Fighter 6. Okay? So, I'm still in positive, but I'm not great. I want to get better, and I feel like I'm only going to get better the more I play, the more I practice, and it has to be with characters that are the same character. And this is what you guys have to understand is I'm willing to try a new character maybe like once a week, but there's no way that I can continuously keep playing new characters and get better at the game. I have to spend time using the characters who I've already used and getting better with them. It's the only way I'm going to increase my skill level, and I'm going to get rank up, and I'm going to get more wins. You have to understand. So today is Chun-Li. We're going to check her out. I'm going to try her out. I have some ideas from things that I saw online that I'd like to use today in my gameplay, and we're going to do my absolute best of how I can do. But please be aware that Chun-Li is going to be probably the only new character I use this week, because the next time we're playing Street Fighter will be Monday, and then we're probably playing it one more time, probably like Wednesday. And so I'll probably be alternating and doing, multiplayer streams with the characters I've already used to try to get better, as opposed to constantly picking new characters. All right? So there you go. So here we go. Very good, right? Very good progress, and I'm excited to see how I do in Chun-Li today. Since I am using a new character, it means that probably I'll have a brand new chart update. Because remember, we have this chart. Is it still? Hold on, I want to make sure it's still selected. Nope, it's not. See, I unselected, or is this it? Oh, there it is. Here's the chart. This is how I did with each character the first time that I used them, right? There's some characters that I just naturally did better with that first try, while others I did pretty poorly with, right? Like you take a look at characters like DJ, I did absolutely abysmally bad with DJ. But some characters I've actually gotten much better with over time. Like, for example, at first with Lily, I was way low, but now with Lily, I'm actually an overall positive record and doing much better with Lily. Minot as well, or not Minot, Marisa as well. At first, I did decent, but now I'm doing like really good with her. So I'm curious to see how I do with Chun-Li today, all right? And, it's going to be exciting. She's faster paced. She's got a lot of combos and stuff. Should be neat to see how it goes. I hope that you guys will put up with a little bit of slow going when we start until I get into the groove of things. But I think, like most characters, if I get into a rhythm of what I'm trying to do, I think that I'll do pretty good. For me, the one thing I don't understand right now is the air juggles. Like, I know she could do a couple, like, head stomps into the double punch, and then you could do, like, super after. But it seems like there's tricky things with positioning where you can lead to mix-ups and cross-ups, and I don't know those. And I think that's going to be a lot more just kind of messing around, dabbling with it myself. So, the Kurt Russell's correct. The Kurt Russell says, can you check your inputs in game when you feel you dropped an input? It might show that you input a completely different move due to input leniency and input device. No, I'll tell you right now. When I'm playing this game online and I say, oh my god, I want standing roundhouse anti-air, and I get a special move instead. Here's what's going on. This game has incredible input leniency. More so than any fighting game before it from what I've seen. Like, you can do a special move, hold the direction for almost a full second, press the button, and the move will still come out. It like charges moves after you've input them. So there's definitely situations where I know what I need to do, but because I'm not used to a game having such incredible input leniency, I'm accidentally storing moves. And I'm doing the wrong move. So perfect example. I've got Blanca, and maybe I'm buffering his rolling ball, which is...
Is he trying to fucking say he's too fast for the fucking game? He's trying to fucking insinuate here that the fucking game, like, really, like, for a long time retains your previous button press. And Phil is just way too fast for the game to keep up with his frantic button mashing style.
Have to go back and kick. Someone jumps at me. Oh, I want anti-air standing heavy kick. Well, I've already buffered the move. Now, I didn't press a button, but the game stored the move. So now when I press roundhouse to get the flip that's anti-air, I'm going to get the roll instead. What I need to program my brain to do is that at any time I'm going to do something on reaction, I have to release my input. So instead of holding the joystick, like, oh, I did half circle, and I'm still holding it, and then I press roundhouse, I have to release the joystick, let it go to a neutral state, then press the button. That's going to take a long time to get used to. You didn't have to do that in Street Fighter. It was never like that before. But this game has an incredible amount of lax inputs. So because of that, I am accidentally getting the wrong stuff a lot. So when you hear me say, oh, it dropped my input, or I didn't mean to do that, that's probably what's happening. It's not necessarily the game completely dropped the button input, but it gave me the wrong one because it was storing something else that I didn't mean to do. Now, that's on me to learn the new engine. Understand, that's not me saying, oh, this game is terrible and the controls are broken. I'm saying this is a big change for Street Fighter, and for me in particular. I skipped Street Fighter 5, so I'm from an era where it wasn't like that, right? Now I need to get adjusted to this. And what's hilarious is Inspector Gadget, I didn't hear that from anyone else. Well, you're banned because literally the entire community's been talking about it. There have been giant threads and social media discussions about it. You're an idiot and you can get...
Oh my fucking god. That's incredible. That immediate salt. The immediate salt. Hold on. When Phil's talking about this, I can't actually pull up. There we go. Let me just rewind a wee bit more to have Adam doubt him when he's talking about all this.
am accidentally getting the wrong stuff a lot. So when you hear me say, oh, it dropped my input, or I didn't mean to do that, that's probably what's happening. It's not necessarily the game completely dropped the button input, but it gave me the wrong one because it was storing something else that I didn't mean to do. Now, that's on me to learn the new engine. Understand, that's not me saying, oh, this game is terrible and the controls are broken. I'm saying this is a big change for Street Fighter, and for me in particular. I skipped Street Fighter V, so I'm from an era where it wasn't like that, right? Now I need to get adjusted to this. And what's hilarious is Inspector Gadget, I didn't hear that from anyone else. Well, you're banned because literally the entire community's been talking about it. There have been giant threads and social media discussions about it. You're an idiot and you can get fucked and get off my stream because you're an asshole. So, yeah, so, you know, it's going to be tough. And Kurt Russell, I appreciate you sharing that with me because you're right. This is me. It's on me. I want you to understand something. Again, I've been playing Street Fighter 6 now for 3 weeks. In the 3 weeks I've been playing this game constantly, okay? Probably I've had 10 really bad matches online, right? Like really laggy, really annoying, bad connection matches. Outside of that, in general, the vast majority of experience I've had with Street Fighter 6 has been positive. It's been good connections, it's been fun gameplay, it's not on the game. The thing is, this game has a tremendous amount of new gameplay mechanics. Anything involving the drive meter. Drive impact, countering the drive impact, drive reversal, drive cancel, parrying, perfect parrying. Like, all these things are new elements to the game that must be learned. Then you've got the new input windows, the lax input windows, the storing of special moves. You've got so much in this game that's brand new. And it's going to take me a long time. I hope you understand that I'm definitely not in a situation here where I'm blaming the game. This is on me for being out of the competitive Street Fighter community for so very long, right? And I hope you understand that. So please, I hope you're being patient with me and you understand I'm not hating on the game at all, you know? This is why I'm not doing as well as I would like. This is why I'm getting so tilted and frustrated at sometimes when I know that I could win a match. I know exactly what I need to do. I just can't do it. I'm trying it and it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh my God, it is so frustrating when you know you have a match won and you can't execute on it. Here, you take the joystick and fucking do the inputs. I'll tell you what to do so we win the match, right? Like, geez. But that's what I mean. It's going to get better the more I play, and ultimately, if I don't give up, if I stick with this, I think that I'll get to a point where I'm doing really consistently well. But we got to get there. We're not there yet, especially, again, look at all the characters that I've used. Seriously, look at all the characters that I have used, and compare this with most people who played this game in the last 3 weeks. Most people probably focused on 2 or 3 characters tops, if that. Look at me, right? I'm trying them all. I'm trying everything here. Today, we're actually doing the first faster rush-down mix-up character of the cast that I'm actually giving a shot, and we're going to see how that goes, right? So, let's see how it goes, and we'll go from there, my friends. Okay? Okay. Cool. All right, so that's that. Outside of that, now let's do shout-outs. Let's do some shout-outs. We'll get those out of the way, and then we'll get to Q&A if we have time, and then we'll jump into Chun-Li today. All right? Cool. Here we go. So let's start off today with RaffleBozo11 with our first super chat of the day, and he says, good afternoon, Phil. Hope all is well. Thank you to RaffleBozo for the super chat. It's good to have you here. And The Milkman also did a super chat. Well, thank you to The Milkman. Appreciate that. That's the latest one. All right, now we move on to tips. And we start off today with a series of overnight tips. Our first overnight tip is $29.99. I'll give you guys one guess on who it is. Of course, we all know it is the Game Trekker, who wants the $20 tip animation, which is why he does $29.99. But I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt and count it as 30. Thank you, Game Trekker. Okay. So let's see what Game Trekker has to say today. He says, Chun-Li, huh? Well, good luck with her. She looks complicated in Street Fighter 6, but at least she has a proper reversal. That's right. It's down, down, and kick. It's the anti-air. It's the up kicks. Also, see if you can keep in mind she has an air throw and air super. I did see people implementing the air throw. That is something that I'm not good at because usually in Street Fighter, the characters who I used didn't have one. And even if they did, I usually didn't use it. For example, Vega in Super Turbo is rare that he has the air throw. Most people don't. But I almost never used it at all, so I never really think air throw. In this game, I have to start thinking air throw. I think that's going to be beneficial to me to use the air throw. And also the air super. That's right. She has air Kikoken. So you can actually do like 2 juggle punches in the air into air. Or not Kikoken, Kikosho. Yeah, she can do like 2 juggle punches right into air super. So there you go. You know, I wonder how much chance there is at this point that you'll find another character in Street Fighter 6 you gel with as well as Blanca. You're doing some pretty hype shit with him in your last session. Yeah, particularly something that I was fishing for. Oh, he's talking about it right now. The perfect parry into max damage punish on Honda headbutt was certainly a highlight. That's what I was looking for. I saw someone doing Blanca Honda, and if you perfect parry Honda's headbutt, you could do a great combo. Standing roundhouse, standing fierce, dash cancel, standing roundhouse, standing fierce, and if you have more meter, you can keep doing that over and over, and you end it with the up juggle out of the crouch into level 3 super, and it does giant damage. It's a great punish on a headbutt. I was waiting for that, and I actually got it. I was so hyped when I got it.
And I'm bored. Let's go to the otters. Let's be a live otter cam and enjoy that for a wee bit. Oh, this one's doing full zoomies across the entire ladder. Look at him. This one's is a 1 or 2 on here on this wee thing down here. Hang on, let me get rid of this. Look at that. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so adorable. It's like a wee box floating around in the water or something. I don't know what it is, but it's like some. Oh, it's so cute. It's like, let me on, you bastard. It's like, no, this is mine. Fuck off. It's just so cute. This one is just doing little micro zooms here. I think there's one over here chilling in the hole. might be seeing things, but I think there's one in the hole just, snoozing or something. And the two of them ended up in the fucking box. Jesus Christ. Oh, there you go. Fantastic stuff. Oh, there's another one right here. Just investigating the box. Jesus, that was so cute. Okay. That was nice. I needed a wee break from Phil, and that was a perfect way to fucking do it. Back to bingo.
Blanca-chan in general also makes for some great moments. People thought Blanca was already super obnoxious to fight in previous Street Fighter games. Well, now he can call an assist. Exactly. I mean, really where Blanca-chan excels is tossing it out on the screen and making your enemy forget it's there, right? Because ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to bait them into feeling safe, and then all of a sudden they get hit by Blanca-chan, and now you've got an opportunity for a follow-up that they weren't planning on. And the thing is, Blanca-chan, when it hits you, stuns you for a second, so if you're like a super or whatever, you can do it. So, yeah, Blanca-chan, I feel, will be very effective with certain setups, but that's the catch, is what are the safe setups? In the corner, I know one. But outside of that, I haven't really found many other safe setups. If you're going to do it, usually you leave yourself open. So I'd have to really figure out, what are the best strategies with Blanca-chan, and I don't think I'm going to know that until I play a lot more. Now, an interesting point. Game Tracker says, I wonder if you're going to get as good with anyone else. It really depends on if a character clicks with me, and again, if I get to a point where I feel like I'm feeling comfortable and I want to continue to play that character, maybe I can execute with them. I don't know. Chun-Li looks good, but Chun-Li has a lot of high combo ability, and you need to do a lot of dash cancels, so we're going to see how it goes as I play her for the first time today. I know what to do, but can I execute? Like, I've seen great strategies. Can I execute on said strategies? That is the real question here today, and that's what we're going to find out. Okay. I received a second tip, a $20 tip, also from Game Tracker. So thank you, Game Tracker, for a second tip. And with this second tip, we're actually at $50 in tips already, and I really appreciate that, Game Tracker. So thank you so much for that. Which means it is indeed Gutter Glass's time. Chun-Li's forward medium kick is really good, is it? The kick that a lot of people are using online is the hop kick, which I think is forward heavy kick, where she jumps and does the kick and it's over low attacks. So I think people fishing for a low attack, if you can counter hit, after that you can do a combo with with the jab or low medium. I have to try it. Okay. Here we go. So, Game Tracker with the $20 tip says, okay, I'm actually going to be asleep during all your gameplay hours today. As a result, I'm going to send this tip now. I won't be able to time it to count for your second stream. So basically, you want to do a tip for the second stream tonight as well, but he won't be around. Gotcha. Maybe that's for the best. I want to talk about, there's a little discussion. There's someone named Sajam, S-A-J-A-M. I don't know how to say his name. Sajam. A prominent fighting game player. He mentioned in a video, pros have been noticing something funky about Street Fighter 6 input reading. I hesitate to slightly say this because I don't want to give you more reason to blame the game. At the same time, it looks like something actually is off about the way Street Fighter 6 handles inputs. Turns out it's probably not just you. Examples Sajam gave include simply trying to throw a fireball after a backdash, but you get a super instead. Also, simply trying to walk up and press crouching heavy punch, but you get turnaround dragon punch because the opponent jumped over. I've 100% noticed it. 100%. I think it's something to do with store. Is it Sajam? People are saying it's pronounced Sajam. Thank you. I've never heard this person's name pronounced before. Sajam. Okay. So, yeah, my take on this would be it's because this game has incredibly long stored inputs, right? In a normal fighting game, if you walk forward and someone jumps over you and you want to do low fears, you would just press down in fears. In this game, it's still reading your input as if you're walking forward when you go down in fear, so now it's doing, oh, you did a move, but you didn't. It almost feels like the game is absolutely requiring you to release your input till it goes neutral, then do the next input. You can't just go from one input to another. You have to release for like a fraction of a second and then do your next input. Because I agree, there's been times where I'm mid-screen and I just want to do a single button input, and I do it and it gives me a standing super. Standing super, that's a double input. How in the holy hell did it read my standing input as a double input? So, it probably is a factor. And again, I feel like that's something that in time, you just need to learn and get better at. We're all people who've been playing fighting games for so long, and we're all from different eras of Street Fighter and different walks of life playing it. Some people who play Street Fighter 5, maybe they're used to more like that, I don't know. People who've only played older games might be a little different. People, you know what I mean? So, I guess we'll see. But I definitely feel like there is something there that they've changed, and it makes input problems happen, Thank you, Game Tracker, for your support this morning. I really appreciate it. Okay, continuing on. I received a $3 tip from Shit Swirls. I remember you were playing God of War, there were sex scenes, and since you've gotten married, things have changed. Whenever there's a sex scene or nudity, you cringe, then you go on a rant about it. Okay, the difference here is that I'm older. It has nothing to do with being married. It has to be with I'm older, and I don't look for that crap in video games anymore. Do you understand? Like,
hold the fuck on. I don't think age is a fucking goddamn factor. I have in good authority that old people can still get horny, I know. It's not that fucking old people don't fucking care about fucking things like sex anymore. So nah, I don't buy that at all. I think it's just, Phil Burnell is just being so weird. And the obvious difference, the one big change that happened in between Phil embracing that and all of a sudden hating that is Cat.
When you're younger and you're more mature, you get more pleasure out of that stuff, right? Oh, it's risque, it's adult, oh, it feels so good. I don't look for that stuff in a video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have sexuality in your life, in a way that you enjoy, in a way that you're very satisfied with, you don't then have to go search for sexuality in video games. I don't play video games for sexual content. I play them for gameplay that's enjoyable. I play it for good stories. I mean, it's okay to have romance in a video game. That's perfectly fine. But for example, the scene that I referenced yesterday in Final Fantasy 16 was literally superfluous to anything. It wasn't needed. It didn't prove a point. It literally could have been explained in a sentence. But they had to show the scene to appeal to a certain audience. Do you understand? That risque audience looking for the adult content ate it up and gobbled it up. Oh, I love it. The adult Game of Thrones adult content. You see? When I was younger, what was I doing on YouTube? I was trying to cater to a young, immature audience. I constantly was making sex jokes, racial jokes, gender jokes. I was doing these jokes all over the place to constantly fill dead air and entertain an audience that otherwise was pretty immature, and they ate it up. They loved that content. That's who I was appealing to. Today, I'm 41 years old. I'm not looking to appeal to a bunch of teenagers. If you look at my actual analytics on YouTube, I have very few young viewers. My viewers are usually in their 20s to 30s, and some in their 40s, like me. That's my age range that I'm appealing to. I'm not appealing to young teenagers. Those people are going out and watching the memesters. They're watching the fucking popular streamers, the drama queens. They're watching bullshit content. That's what appeals to them. The immature shit. That's the kind of shit I used to put out 10, 15 years ago, and I don't anymore. You see, I've changed. I feel for the better because I've grown and matured as a person and a content creator. That's nothing to do with being married. It has to be just getting older and wanting to put out something that you feel is more meaningful to yourself. Do you want to know the truth? It was actually cringe-worthy when I had to do that content constantly. It was. It was actually like taxing. It was boring. I mean, I gotta play another game, and I gotta constantly keep making sexual comments, right? And here's the other funny part about it, too. Back then, everyone criticized me for it. I'd say probably around 2012, 2013, when the This Is How You Don't Play movement started. One of the big things everyone made fun of me for was that content. Oh, he always wants to talk about sex. He always wants to see the sex scene. He always has to over-sexualize everything, right? So everyone told me I was wrong for doing it. So over the years, I change, I mature. I phase out that kind of talk and that kind of any kind of seeking that in video games, and I criticize when it's in it because I feel it's superfluous. Oh, so you changed for the worse. Wait, what? This is what you told me to do because you said that I was immature and that the content wasn't good enough. So you even made fun of me, and this is how you don't play and everything. So I changed directly based on your criticism. I improved. Now I changed for the worse. So what the fuck are you talking about? You can't have it both ways, right?
Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money. Oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money.
Thank you very much to Black Mage for the super chat. It says, my mother is 60 and she still watches Magic Mike for the plot. Phil is just an asexual space alien. Phil and the topic of sexuality is a bizarre one. It's the sheer discomfort that is clearly obvious on his face whenever there's any sort of notion of romance on the screen. It doesn't even have to be nudity. It can be like a simple kiss. Two characters can just have a wee innocent little kiss. And Phil just fucking in discomfort, cringe, you know, you see him visibly fucking recoil and he'll look away and look towards his chat. And it's like, Jesus Christ, he's acting like he's fucking 4. And he's watching his parents be all romantic or something. And he's like, ew, what this, Jesus, it is so... It's bizarre. He should be more mature about it and just fucking roll with it, but he can't. He has to make a big song and dance about it and try and fucking grandstand and say, why is this in games? And it's like, just, you're making it into something more than it actually is, Phil. Just calm the fuck down.
Based on your criticism, I improve. Now I change for the worse. So what the fuck are you talking about? You can't have it both ways, right? That's the truth, is that the internet wasn't in it to basically say to me, all right, that they weren't in it to say that your content is immature, improved. They were just saying, we don't like you and your content no matter what you do. That's really what it was. That's the difference between constructive criticism and toxic criticism. Please improve for the better. We just don't, it's never going to be good enough. That's two different things, you understand? And that's what I've gone through. It's basically being told no matter what I do and how I improve, it's never good enough. So guess what? I'm going to put out content that I like, all right? So yeah, if I see that shit in a game and I think it's stupid and it's unnecessary, I'm going to call it out. There was no reason to have that scene in Final Fantasy 16. It literally added nothing. And it was laughably cringeworthy because, again, here they go with their editing. Oh, look, the arm is blocking the nipple. The fucking bedpost is blocking the dick. Like, what is this stupid shit? Like, I feel like I'm fucking watching something from 20 years ago. It's like a fucking National Lampoon or a fucking Naked Gun movie or something. You know what I mean? Like, what am I watching? It's so dumb. Anyway, that's my opinion. Let's continue. I got a dollar tip. Why didn't I react to the Nintendo Direct? Well, because I wasn't here. Wednesday was my day off. How can I react to something when I'm not here? It's my day off, my scheduled day off. I did talk about the Nintendo Direct in big detail on yesterday's...
Money, yeah, yeah. Money, money. Oh, money, money. Yeah, yeah. Money, money.
Thank you very much to Prophet for a super chat. Oh, Jesus Christ, what are you going to make me fucking read out? Prophet says, I'm the same age as Phil, and when I get home tonight, I'm going to get high and rub one out to some high quality prawn. Phil is an incel. So each to their own, whatever makes you happy. That was Dead Air, by the way. I'm going to count Dead Air off the card, so that's another bingo. There's quite a lot of dead air in between Phil, he was like reading the chat and taking his sweet time. But this is 1.5 speed, and it's still quite a good bit of time. So I'll actually just rewind it a wee bit as well, just so you guys can see that. But yeah, Prophet's got a fun and free. I wonder why that fucking video's not out yet. Now we know why. He's busy. He's busy, fucking taking care of business.
I got $1 here. Why didn't I react to the Nintendo Direct? Well, because I wasn't here. Wednesday was my day off. How can I react to something when I'm not here? It's my day off, my scheduled day off. I did talk about the Nintendo Direct in big detail on yesterday's Level 1 podcast. If you give it a look, it was a giant segment of the show because Nintendo had a huge Direct with tons of great announcements that I all covered in depth. So go watch yesterday's podcast and you'll get all my opinions on that. But I'm not going to do a live react when I'm not even here, right? There you go. Spawn Killer has done a super chat and says, I wish Street Fighter 6 had Fei Long, Balrog, Sagat, and Seth. They got rid of Street Fighter 4 characters. Who was your favorite Street Fighter 4 characters? Hakan. I think overall Hakan was my favorite because he was the biggest oddball. He didn't really fit into any category. I mean, he was kind of a grappler, but he had some other unique moves that before they changed him, by the way.
Oh, said unique. We are so close to a full house. We have one free space already because of my dumbass fucking offering you guys a random free space for Game of Thrones mentions. So we will need one of these two things essentially to happen.
Because they did change Hakan in the original Super Street Fighter 2. I feel like I liked his Super Street Fighter 4. I liked his build. He was the underdog character, but he was winnable. He could win with that character. But sadly, they changed him, and in my opinion, they made him feel shittier in the future versions of the game. But you're right. They took out Street Fighter 4 and most of the Street Fighter 5 characters as well. There's a couple, but for the most part, yeah, they've removed quite a lot of characters, right, from Street Fighter 6. But I'm sure they're gonna be adding them back as DLC. Let's be honest here, right? Okay, so we've now covered all shoutouts up to now. Thanks to everyone who's contributed so far. If anyone has a question they'd like to toss my way, please tap.
Basically Q&A. How long do we have between this Q&A and Phil starting gameplay? Put it this way, Phil has not started gameplay yet. We are 28 minutes behind live DSP and he's not even playing the game yet. So we have plenty of time aside. Over 30 minutes left for us to get one more.
Tag me in the chat, and I'll do a little bit of Q&A with you guys before we move on to Chun-Li gameplay. Excuse me. No Sleep Real Vibe says, in Street Fighter 4 wasn't Oni a tougher version of Akuma? Oni did not play like Akuma. No, Oni was a unique character they added. I honestly don't even know what the lore of the character was.
I am going to go 1.75 speed because Phil is going to be basically a half an hour of Q&A. Or almost half an hour of Q&A. It's going to bore the crap out of us. Fortunately though, we have the autocam to keep us going. So there we go. Look at that, so fucking cute. I'll go live and see what's happening. Oh, they've left the box. In fact, they've left the screen almost. There's only one on the screen. Oh, that's two. There's one there as well. There we go. There's fucking two. But there we go. They're down there. They're down there in the fucking corner. That's so cute.
Money, yeah, yeah. Money, money. Oh, money, money. Yeah, yeah. Money, money.
Thank you very much to Receptacron for the super sticker. And the super sticker is basically just like a shocked mouth drone. Like fucking. Basically, it's basically it looks like a super sticker showing the average Phil fan. Just fucking open mouthed drool, fucking dropping at a fucking mouth, just watching in sheer fucking a state of astonishment at what the fuck they're looking at on the screen. Yeah, Decepticon just sent a mouth drone I did it my way, so thank you very much to Decepticon for the super sticker.
Because at that point, I wasn't in Street Fighter 4, and I wasn't really following it, but I guess he was supposed to be some kind of a demon incarnate based on the Dark Hado power, but he didn't play like Akuma. No, he was different. He definitely had different moves and cross-ups and different weird things. Jade says, I'd love to see old school or new Chun. We're going to do, I like the classic Chun, and if you saw, I bought the classic outfit for Chun-Li, and the color scheme's great. Like, there's a bunch of different colors you can use with her, so I'm going to be going classic Chun with some interesting color schemes today.
Money, yeah, yeah. Money, money. Oh, money, money. Yeah, yeah. Money, money.
Thank you very much to Methbeth for a tip. It says Scotland loves whiskey, golf, kilts, iron brew, bagpipes, and hate the UK. Okay, hoots man. I mean, you need. I wouldn't say the last one, the hate the UK thing. It's a controversial topic. Controversial topic, hating. I mean, there's obviously pros and cons and that shit, but yeah, it's kind of like that America enjoy being controlled by the English. Not really. They had a big fucking civil war and a bunch of farmers kicked their arses, America got their independence, you know, and they seem to fucking enjoy that, so I'll just leave it at that, shall I?
And the color scheme's great. Like, there's a bunch of different colors you can use with her. So I'm going to be going Classic Chun with some interesting color schemes today. Tito Man, so I hope your day's going good. Final Fantasy 16, I am enjoying it. Sounds good. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. Greetings to you, great pimp. Met91 says, do you think I would survive a trap in the Saw series if I was put to the test? No, because they're not real. You can't survive something that's not real. Let's says you should practice counter drive impacting. I mean, you're right. That is one of my biggest flaws right now, is that people tend to do drive impact. And really, I think this is really my biggest flaw. And I think Big Papa Phil has called me out on it several times. Says you're a very offensive player. Like, you try to go on the offense 90% of the time, and because of that, you leave yourself open to drive impact. And he's right. I tend to play very offensively when I play these games, and because of that, I'll throw out a move that is very susceptible to drive impact spam. Now, some people are like, well, you can easily counter hit drive impact with your own. You're right, but you're wrong. If someone just throws out a random drive impact and you're not committed to a move, then you can easily do your own drive impact and hit it back. But if you're in the middle of a move that is not a cancelable move, so for example, Dalsim, if you're doing standing medium punch with Dalsim, it's not cancelable. If they do drive impact, you're getting hit no matter what. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So you need to have a situation where if you're going to throw out a move, that move is cancelable so that you can do your own drive impact, you see? But then you're limiting your moveset to only cancelable moves, and you know, see what I mean? So I absolutely agree that I need to improve my drive impact game. I need to read it more, I need to bait it more, and I need to counterattack it more, right? 1,000,000%, this is truthful. With Chun-Li, here's the good news. She has a ton of moves that are 2-in-1 cancelable. Low medium kick, standing jab, standing medium punch, crouching jab. These are all moves that are regular good normals for her, and they're all cancelable to drive impact. So if someone tries to spam it, likely I'll be able to counter hit it a lot. And she has some pretty good combos I've seen. It's like either standing roundhouse sweep into spinning bird kick and up kick, or like I've seen like variations with like different first punches into the sweep into that. So she has a good punish combo after drive impact that does lots and lots of damage. So as long as I practice a little bit, I think we're gonna be good today. We'll see what happens. Okay. That's true as well. Big Papa Phil says also a bunch of her normals cancel into lightning kicks, and those beat drive impact. You're right. I remember that from the beta distinctly, that she could cancel the lightning kick constantly and it would stuff the drive impact spam. Yep. Spawn Killer did a $2 super chat. Was Seth the most powerful character in the universe? No. Seth was an attempt to combine the powers of all the characters in the Street Fighter universe into a super being, and their idea was that they were supposed to take M. Bison's soul and put it from his failing body into Seth, and he would be like the super ultimate fighter of the planet. But what ended up happening was Seth somehow got an AI in him, right? His own personality, and he broke out and started doing his own thing. So it didn't work, basically. It was kind of backfired, the plan to make the ultimate fighter. But no, he was not the most powerful character in the universe because he was flawed. Maybe if Bison had gone inside of him and the insight of the fighting skill of Bison was in Seth, then he would have been the most powerful character. But no, it never happened. Kind of, it's a pretty interesting anime-like plotline, wasn't it? Okay. The damn man says he's on vacation in Mexico. Well, congrats. I hope you're having a good time in Mexico. Am I a lore master of Street Fighter? No, I am not. I know some. I don't know everything, but I share what I know. Jade says, how about Chun-Li's black color outfit? She has one in Classic. We'll take a look. I remember there was a red one, a green one, probably the black one. There was a few colors that I really like. We'll take a look today. We'll see what she has. Happy Friday to you, Mango. How are you?
Yeah. Money. Oh, money. Yeah. Money.
Thank you very much to Methbear for a tip who says, sheep. But that's literally the entire tip message. Methbear just wanted to fucking get sheep in there. Apparently, the sheep were not included in his last tip message. Literally, the last tip message I got was Scotland loves whiskey, golf, kilts, iron brew, bagpipes, and hate the UK, all Kai Hootsman. And I read that out, and Methbear says I said sheep as well, and I'm like, it didn't say sheep. So Methbear felt compelled to tip another £1 just to make sure that I said sheep. So there you go.
A green one, probably the black one. There was a few colors that I really liked. We'll take a look today. We'll see what she has. Happy Friday to you, Mango. How are you? Good to have you here. No, I've never ridden in a plow truck, Willow. No, never ridden in a plow. Met91 says, to be fair, games are not real like fiction and movies, but we'll go into long discussions about them. Huh? Not real like fiction and movies. Alright, that statement just threw me for a loop. We're nerfing jabs and drive impact improve gameplay. I feel drive impact should be made more risk reward. Right now, drive impact is so easy to spam because it has so little drive meter use. I feel like drive impact should have a much more use of your drive meter. That's it, because then if they could only do it 2 to 3 times per round rather than drive impact, spam, it's stupid. I think it's too much. So I would like it to use more drive meter. Outside of that, it's more of an execution thing with me reacting to it. It's not necessarily that it's broken, it's that I'm not used to it. Oh, Met91 said, replying to your answer about the song movie. Oh, that went right over my head. Sorry about that, Met91. No, you cannot call me pale. Why would you call me pale? Does it make sense?
Because you're fucking pale. You barely see the fucking sun. You're a fucking ghostly, pale, almost sick-looking bastard. We're gonna call you some fucking pale-skinned fucking ghoul of a fucking, barely human being.
You see, Raincoat, and this is where online play gets tricky. He says, no one at high levels in Street Fighter 6 are spamming drive impact because it's easily punished. You're right. So what happens? You're not used to drive impact. So then what happens? You play someone who's not high level and they spam it and they hit you because you weren't ready because you're not used to reacting to it anymore. You see? That's the trickiness about Street Fighter. Why do you think you could be playing?
Yeah. Money. Oh, money. Yeah. Money.
Thank you very much to Stud for a very generous super chat. It says bingo. That's all it says. Bingo. We're not quite at bingo yet. We're one away essentially. We have a free space today because I basically gifted one for Phil saying Game of Thrones 3 times. in the podcast. He said it like 8 times so far in this fucking podcast alone. Game of Thrones. So there you go. So I've got a free space because of the Game of Thrones spam from Phil. And apparently we're almost at 100 likes as well. If we get 100 likes, that's a free space, and that means we win bingo. Put it that way. So we're very close to a full house bingo. And a quick reminder to everyone as well, if your name is not included in the description of his live stream, there is a community post. If your name is not been, if you've not commented on that community post in the link of this live stream, then you're not going to be eligible for to win the potential bingo prize of $25, essentially. So if your name's not down yet, you're not going to be eligible to win. It looks like we're very close to a full house here because we're like three likes away or something. So we'll keep going with the bingo, but apparently we're almost there. Thank you again, Snood, for the generous super chat. And yeah, we're just waiting for the. Apparently that's it now. Apparently we have 100 likes, which means it's a free space, which means the bingo is over. So in that case, we have 2 free spaces. We've got them used up straight away. We only have 2 left. So that is a full house in the bingo. Not only is it a full house in the bingo, you guys got 100 likes on the stream, which means you guys have earned the Bubbles animations that Pixar Animations so very kindly made for us.
Oh, yo, that smells really, really good. I love it.
Jesus, that's still fucking nasty as all hell. So yeah, that's a good question actually. Mob Man was asking today's Friday, did the game winners message yet? We have not heard a thing from Wasabi Panda. Profit has been trying to give away fucking games now for a fucking last, month or so, or several weeks. And the winners of these fucking prizes, we spin the wheel and we want to fucking give the winners the game. And they just fucking, they don't get back to you. So we might need to spin the wheel as well to determine a winner as well for Profit's game giveaway. So first of all though, the bingo's over. We've got a full house, fucking hurry for that. Second of all, let's celebrate by going to look at otters. Let's go to live autocam. That's so fucking cute. There's one chilling in the hole right here, and there's a couple over here on the right hand side. Just enjoying little micro zoomies right here in the corner. Oh, there's another one, a sneaky one right here. Doing full length ones. Oh, they're fucking beautiful. There we fucking go. Meth Bear says it's a $50 prize though. To be fair, he did a generous tip yesterday for that bingo to anticipate a double prize. But fine, $50. $50 prize because of Meth Bear. Meth Bear top meant it. Even though technically it wasn't for today. He top meant it. Okay, so we're finished with the podcast. We don't care about Phil anymore. Phil can vanish. Probably fucking. There we go. No more Phil. Only otters. So there we go. Right, I am going to show. Right, I need to get the card set up to pick a winner. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you guys a wee intro thing that Pixar made while I'm getting the wheel set up. So bear with me here. I'll probably need to add a couple of new names to it. So please wait like 5 minutes or so, and then we can determine the winner. Okay, so cheers guys, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Alright guys, we're back, and we're back with AutoCam. Just because, you know, we can. They're so fucking cute. Just fucking look at them all. They're so lovely. They just swim back and forth and they're all lovely. But we are ready to spin this wheel. Over 200 different names are on this fucking wheel right now. We're giving it a good shuffle. We're giving it a hell of a good fucking shuffle. Now, quick round. By the way, Wasabi Panda had a week to get back to me. I waited a whole week. You know, week's been and gone. Still radio silence from Wasabi Panda, so they're not on this list anymore. I think it's fair. I mean, I went and responded to Wasabi Panda's comment on the community post to say, look, you've won, get in touch with me here or whatever, and I've not heard a thing. So, the whole point of me making a community post was to try and fucking get regulars to fucking make sure if their name was picked on this wheel, they'd end up winning. You know what I mean? And they'd fucking get, you know, if they win a prize, they would get a prize, you know, and I don't know. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, a week's definitely long enough for somebody, even if somebody's like, you know, here and there, now and again. A week's plenty of time, I feel, you know, to try and hear back from them if possible, you know, but I don't know. Anyway, 200 names on this list. I've recently added even some of the most recent ones there. If you haven't made the list, then sucks to you fucking just missed out barely, but there you go. So, the prize for today's bingo, thanks to MFBear, $50 prize. $50 prize. Now, of course, a variety of whoever wins, you can decide how you get that. It can be $50 over PayPal. It can be a gift voucher on Amazon. Whatever, you know, basically whatever you want, I'll try and get it to you in whatever capacity works best for you, okay? So there you go. With all that being said, I'm going to spin this wheel and to determine who has won today's bingo. Here we go. Oh! I don't recognise this name whatsoever. Not a bot maybe has won. I think it was almost Indrid. It was so close to Indrid winning. And we all fucking know Indrid. That's unlucky. That's an unfortunate wee midget there not to win there. But not a bot maybe has won the draw. I'm a bit sceptical because I don't recognise the name. They could just be a regular who's silent or whatever, you know what I mean? But I will try and reach out to them and get them to you know, get in touch with me or whatever, and just to make sure. So, I mean, it's one of those things, because I have a list, I mean, I have a big whole list right here. That's right, not a bot maybe, I have, so they're on my big list here. I have a YouTube channel, I know the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel's still there. I have no videos on the channel, but I can see, I'm looking at it right now. You know, so, we'll have to wait and see. I will get in touch with them through the community post, you know, and get back to them that way. And hopefully, you know, they've got a week essentially. They'll have a week to get back in touch with me. Once I get in touch with them, if they don't get back in touch with me within a week, the $50 will go to Jasper's Angels, which is a charity, of course, Piece of Peace organises. And so there we go. So there you go. I don't know if Prophet's still around. Prophet. I feel like, I mean, I want to make sure Prophet's okay with me spinning the wheel to try and determine a winner for his game giveaway. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'm sure Prophet wouldn't mind if I spun the wheel to determine a winner for his bingo, for his game giveaway. So let's do one more spin of the wheel, right? One more, so let's spin in the wheel. 2 seconds. Just had to fucking cough my guts up there. So, this spin in the wheel right here is to determine who has won a game giveaway. And it could be either Street Fighter 6 or Diablo 4. I think it's either one or the other. You know, whoever the winner wants, Prophet will give them essentially. That's what it was last time anyway. Oh, Prophet's actually here. Before I spin the wheel, I mean, Prophet, how about it? Prophet? Can you talk right now? You want a call? I'm going to call your ass. I'm going to assume you know I'm fucking busy. You never usually are. So I'm calling your ass, Prophet. The champ is here apparently, so pick up the fucking Discord phone. Just waiting for Prophet to answer if he's going to answer. Hey, Prophet, you there? Is that a yes? Hey, Prophet, hey. Is it okay to do the game giveaway here?
Yeah, spin it.
Cool. So so Wasabi Panda had a week to get in touch with us. They didn't do it, so they're
Yeah.
gone. So reset the whole list here. Is it basically we're going to get either Street Fighter 6 or Diablo 4, one or the other?
Yeah, it's a winner's choice what they want.
Cool, no worries. I want to make sure that. Okay, so I'm going to spin the wheel right now, right? We're going to do it right now. And let's see who it lands on. Hopefully it's a regular, and hopefully they'll be happy to receive a prize. So maybe this is because of... This is thanks to Profit, of course. This is thanks to Profit. So here we go, we're spinning now. And it's going to land on... Mr. Moldybot.
Are they in chat though?
Mr. I don't know if they're going to be in chat right now. Is Mr. Moldybot
Just
in
give
chat
it a
right
minute.
now?
I say we spin it until somebody wins that's in chat.
I mean, it's your game
We've
giveaway.
been doing this.
It is your game
We've been
giveaway.
doing
It's
this
up
for
to
a
you.
while.
If they're not okay,
We've been doing this for like 2-3 weeks
fair
now.
enough, fair enough. Okay, Mr. Moldybot, if you're in chat right now, please say something. If you're not, you're going to spin again. This is Profit's game giveaway, so I'm going to let him dictate that. And yeah, I mean, I'm not waiting for anything from Mr. Moldybot, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna spin again. I'm going to shuffle. Quick shuffle and spin again. Somebody has to win tonight, basically. We must have a winner. Gru! Is there a Gru in the chat? Do we have any Grus in the chat? Gru, are you here? It is me, the Bingo. I don't know if Gru's in the chat either.
Then we'll spin again.
I mean, I'll give it a minute just to make sure that, you know, just fucking
Yeah.
not here. Wait,
Oh,
Gru's
no,
here.
he's there,
Gru's
he's there,
here.
he's there,
Gru's
he's
here.
there.
There we fucking go. Gru, email. So get in touch with me. Like, I don't know the best way of getting in touch. I'll tell you what. Prof. I mean, it's probably easier if Gru gets in touch with you. What's the easiest way for Gru to get in touch with you to determine our game?
Probably through my. But I think it's better that he get in touch with you and then you get him to get in touch with me so we can make sure that it's the same person.
That's a fair point, yeah. So, Gru,
Right.
email me, Gru. So, email me at kingjadvcmp@gmail.com and also just try and show like evidence that this is your YouTube. Usually just fucking show like your the top corner of your YouTube, just show it's you, it's actually you. Email me, and I will I'll verify it's you, and I'll pass on the details to Profit, and he will get you the game of your choice, either Street Fighter 6 or Diablo 4 on the console of your choice as well. So there you go. Cheers. Well done, Gru.
Console or PC, doesn't matter.
Or console or PC, so basically anything, as long as it's, you know, whenever. So Street Fighter 6 or Diablo 4 on any platform, essentially. Cool. So yeah, and also thanks again, Profit, for that. I do appreciate you being very generous in that way to offer to give away games. So there's also other people have done it as well, you know, like Lil Shadow EX has done it in the past as well. Other people as well, I can't even mind. There's definitely been other people, but I can't mind some of their names, which is I'm sorry for. But anyone always offers to fucking do game giveaways as well as part of the Bingo stuff. It's pretty fun, you know what I mean? I do appreciate it. So cheers, Profit, for that as well, you know, and yeah, big up to you, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, I gotta get back to work here. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later.
Work, aye, right. Catch you later. So there we go. Fucking, I do feel a bit bad for fucking dragging Profit into a random call when he was probably kind of busy. To be fair, he did come and chat and say the champ is here. So he kind of invited the call in that regard, you know. But there you go. So yeah, so I am going to try and find a way to get in touch with who won the fucking first bingo. Actually, we can check the results here. Not a bot, maybe. That was the person that won the bingo. So yeah, that was the person that won the bingo. Not a bot, maybe. So yeah. Because of that, so I'll let them know that they've won bingo. They've won, you know, and how they want. I'll ask them to get in touch with me to try and determine, you know, how they want a prize, whatever. And if I don't hear back from them for a week, the money's going to go to Jasper's Angels. So there we go. So guys, I'm going to probably wrap things up there. Thank you very much, you know, for Hope for being here. A very fun stream. I do hope you all had a good time, and it's good to end. We ended in a full house. We ended the week with a full house. Quite an easy card in the end of the day. It was actually quite a solid card. So, bit of a late start to bingo, I'm sorry about that once again. But once we got going, we just couldn't be fucking stopped, could we? We were fucking on a tear and just fucking, we tore that shit up and fucking won easily. So there we go. And I'll end it on the autocam because we can. Because they're so goddamn cute. And this is how the bingo will end, of course, you know what I mean? Possibly intro as well. I'm going to end how I always end things by playing Pixar Animations, Notorious PIG contributions. But until then, guys, I'll be back on Sunday for some more bingo antics. I do hope you enjoyed it your Friday, how you wish to spend it, and enjoy a Saturday as well. There's no bingo on Saturdays for me. I don't bother bingos on Saturdays, as you know. But I'll be back on Sunday, hopefully, for some more bingo antics. But until then, have a great Friday and Saturday. Hope you have a grand weekend, and I'll see you all on Sunday for some more robust bingo content. But until then, I'm out of here. Catch you all later. Peace out.
On September 14th, a pre-authorized payment of $16.51 from PayPal.
All right, Luna Mills has tipped me $1.30. It says, I'm back. What's your favorite type of shower? When you're showered in money. When you go outside and all of a sudden greenbacks start falling from the sky and you raise your face up, you're like, oh, you start dancing, you go, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. All right, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but thank you for the first tip of the day. Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. These contributions are mandatory. Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. These contributions are mandatory. Show me the money. Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. These contributions are mandatory. And it's gone, just gone like that, in an instant.